Hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Roast. And of course, I've got with me Mr. Shane.
Hello, everyone.
And obviously, we are absent one Sim, but it's okay. We have Shane. You know,
It's like Highlander around here. There can only be one co-host at a
there can
time.
only be one. You probably found out you were going to be here, got upset. Now he ain't coming in.
Yeah, he's gone.
But today we have on Miss Laurie Calcaterra.
Very good.
Yeah, God, I didn't botch that one like poor Emma. Miss McLean.
No, you did good.
And we'll be talking about Path of the Pale Rider. There we go.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, we got Soul popping up already in the chat. He says, welcome to the roast, where we join the Western apocalypse with a stranger on horseback that hasn't seen much sun. And probably like strippers and bubble baths. Howdy, Chris, Shane, Laurie, and chat. Yeah, so obviously Soul is getting this Pale Rider confused with the one in the chat there with strippers and bubble baths.
Pale Rider and I are not affiliated, but other than we know the meaning of what Pale Rider is, I'm sure, which you will all find out shortly. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hi, Pops. How you doing?
So you're is this your first project?
Yeah, kind of a noob when it comes to indie comics, but I came in with like my guns out and my swords flailing. Yeah, I started writing Path of the Pale Rider back in 2018. I was working for a production company in Detroit, and I was writing like web series for them. And actually, I was a stunt coordinator, and I choreograph martial art fight scenes for production.
Oh, wow.
So I had like a fight team, right? And so we had like different people that could do different skills depending on what the project needed. So if it's like a domestic scene where they're beating each other in a kitchen, we got that covered. If you want, fancy kung fu and like, the tea garden, we got that covered. If you just want a knife fight in an alleyway, we got that covered too. So that's kind of where I started. And I got my writing bug for writing content for them, and then came up with this crazy idea of what would happen if nothing could die. What would happen to the earth if nothing could leave? So then I just started writing that, and it just got so big. People were like, what are you gonna do with it? And I was like, I don't know. It's one of those things like you have this great idea, and then it's like, what do you do? So it's like,
interesting. Start shipping people off to space, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
what do you do in that situation?
Well, we got to talk about how the world works. It's dynamic. So people were telling me to pitch it to Netflix. I don't know how to pitch to Netflix. I still don't. Like, if you research how to pitch to Netflix, it's a really kind of gray, murky area. You have to get an agent, a literary agent. Netflix won't talk to anybody directly. They want butts in the seat. They want, a guaranteed following, So when it comes to a new project or an unknown writer like myself, you got to put in a lot of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I've always loved comics. My husband's a comic book reader as well. We read a lot of Image. Robert Kirkman, East of West. I mean, we read DC Comics. We follow Marvel, Dark Horse, Spawn, Walking Dead. I mean, Invincible, Fables, Lazarus, Ghost in the Shell. I'm just reading what's on my shelf right there. So, I mean, it just made sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was like, I have this idea. I don't know what to do. And then, of course, my husband, when he read it, he was like, this is a comic book. Ding, the light bulb turned on, right? So it's like, okay, well, how do we do that? Never been into that scene. So then it's like, I basically was drinking water from a fire hose trying to figure out how to accomplish that. So went looking for an artist in 2020, had a few different ones fall through, met Marco in 2021, Marco DeFillo, who's the current illustrator of our project, who's absolutely fabulous. If you've seen any of our artwork, just fabulous. Mm-hmm. So went to Kickstarter. We blew that up. Our first Kickstarter campaign, we had 116 backers and we raised like $5,200. Ended up like 116% to goal. which was fabulous for our first time ever, you know. So the story is great. I'm going to talk a little more about how the world works, just so you guys can see what you're getting into, because it's not your typical anything. It's like it's a Western apocalypse, but the dead no longer die. So it's like your body can die, but your soul remains, or your energy, it remains in your body. So you get to stick around while you're decaying.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Hate to be at
So
those
it's
family
like,
reunions. Like, oh God,
I mean, it's
Dan's
like,
coming. He's been dead for like 10 years. He
Oh,
stinks really
man.
bad.
you know, that family member that stinks, or that family member that like can't remember things anymore, or the family member that's, you know, it's like almost like a degenerative disease downhill. You know what I mean? Where it just gets worse. So that's what these people are. It's like at first nobody knows what to do with them. They just go home, and then it's like a slow descent into madness. So then people are unpredictable. They're chaotic. They are forgetful. They are detached from humanity. They're or overly emotional. They can get stuck in rage. They can get stuck in indifference. It's a really difficult place to kind of navigate. But yet it's still, it's like it's your mom, it's your dad, it's your neighbor. It's people that you know.
So what happens once their body is, so you say they are decaying, right?
Yes.
Like if they're fully not there, like they're like a spirit
Bones.
there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just the bones?
You get stuck in your bones. You can no
And if
longer communicate.
And if you destroy the bones?
If you're ash, you're still there.
Okay. Well, that's just like a simple way to get rid of them then. Like, just put them in something and...
Yeah, I know, but here's the thing. They're not going to comply because they don't want to be bones and they don't want to be ash. So at what point do they outnumber the living and start to fight back? You know, so it's like I show you the fall of society. I show you kind of like how government steps in and starts making steps to like separate the two communities. We introduce some technology. We call it a disc. If you look at the comic book, you can see my character wearing it. It's this circle that he wears, and when he taps it, it lights up and it will beat with his heartbeat, and it has audio. So it's a very easy way for people to tell the difference, because people being people were, what do you call it? We're intuitive. We want to solve problems, right? So if you're undead and you're newly undead and you don't want to appear undead, you might do things to alter your body, like formaldehyde. I don't know. You can embalm yourself at this point because it's not going to do you any more harm than you're already done, right?
Yeah.
So they can
already gone.
Living for longer. You can hack something that's technology. So we have all these different layers of things going on, right? So we have the people problem. But the other thing is, when I say nothing can leave, I mean nothing. So animals, insects, fish, nothing.
It's going to like force people to become vegetarians at that point.
Well, that's the thing. I was like, we could technically still slaughter animals, but would it still move while you're trying to butcher it? Would it still move when you're trying to eat that burger?
I'd still eat it.
It's gross.
I like steak.
You're gonna be. I mean, like,
it can move all the way down the throat. I don't care.
You know what I mean? That chicken nugget takes on a new dimension when it's like
the chicken's fighting back in your stomach.
So does the spirit itself separate into pieces then? Because if you're saying each piece would move and everything, like if I chop its head off over there, and then I throw like its wing over that way, would they both still?
There's still wherever there's cells that had energy, it continues to have that energy. So there is no rest. There is no, like, you cut off the head and the body are still animate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's an interesting place, but I promise you, I go into detail about all of those things, and how they work. It's a crazy place to be.
Yeah, it sounds like we're going to be launching a lot of things into space and burying a lot of shit.
I don't even know if you can launch things into space. Everything is collapsing. So at this point, when you start the comic, you're 10 years into the apocalypse. Okay, things have devolved to the Wild West. So lawlessness. I mean, like, I will tell you, like, kind of how things are separated. But there's different colonies. Like, there's undead colonies. There's undead bandits. The farther north you go, it becomes more like living communities. Government is gone. There's all sorts of conspiracy theories about what started this. So like when you start the comic, our cowboy, he's looking, right? That's his sole purpose now, is to figure out what caused the dead to no longer die. So I mean, but if you think about it, that's crazy. 10 years into any crisis, people have moved on.
Yeah.
Look at what happened with
Well, I guess you
COVID.
don't lose though, right? I mean, you're kind of worried about the problem. You're like, man, how do we stop this? But then when you die, you're like, well, I guess I'm on the winning side now.
I mean,
Not
it
my
depends on
problem.
your perspective.
Not my problem now.
It depends on your perspective. And I never
Yeah.
give you like the right answer. I never tell you like which one is right? Because it's like if you have a family member that's undead and they're coming to rip them out of your house, how do you react to that? You know? Or your family member got run over by that undead next door.
Depends
You know
on
what
the
I
family
mean?
member.
So your opinion of how to treat the undead is completely different. But you
Yeah.
also have to remember that no matter what law gets put into place for this community, is going to happen to you eventually.
Yeah, I'm not relying on you to be any kind of superhero, Shay.
No.
Uh-oh.
You're like, oh, I'm on there.
What do you
I'm
mean?
on this side. Doop-a-doop-a-doo.
Well,
Shane's
yeah, I'm like, whatever.
bye. Bye, Chris.
Yeah,
You just
you'll
get
turn
tossed
at
out.
the drop of a hat.
So, yeah.
You'll be dead, Chris, and then we can still play video games and stuff together. Because
is
in her
true.
universe, until
Yeah.
you start losing your mind and shit, then I'm going to tie you to a bed, and then
Oh,
you
yeah.
can just sit over there.
Right.
How
I mean,
you
so
been
it's like we
today?
don't have cannibalistic zombies, but I mean, like we could, because we have cannibalistic people in real life, right? So
How you been today, Shane? Oh, doing all right. My penis fell off today.
Oh,
an
man.
unfortunate day.
Well, then I'm just going to just end it. Yeah, like,
Launch me into
Good
space sometime.
Launch me into space.
launch me into
That's
space.
Shane's answer. Launch me into space. Go see the universe. You don't have to breathe. I don't know. Would you explode in outer space? Probably.
Didn't they say that you wouldn't explode in space? Like it's actually not like
I thought you'd freeze. I don't know.
I think you would freeze, but I think also you would explode because there air pressure is what's kind of holding everything in your skin. And once you lose that air pressure, everything just starts to
Ooh.
expand.
but you still exist, right?
It's true. I don't know how much you would perceive at that point when you're
How
just
far does this rabbit hole go?
Well, I mean, really, you can take it just about as far as you want to. So
Maybe
it's fun.
I'll just wait till like part of my spirit particle goes to a different planet, and I'll just rule it.
Ooh.
Like never
But
dying.
I will tell you this. So we have 13 issues already written for the first arc. I'm writing the
wow.
second arc. Okay. The first arc, of course, is absolutely bonkers. Second arc, I just keep going, right? But you will find out the answer to why the dead no longer die. In the first arc, I answer that question. So
Oh, okay.
I know it's hard when it's like, I want it. It's like Lost. It's like, how many issues of Lost do I have to watch to find out where the heck the island is, right?
Right.
I'm not that person. Like I have a beginning, I have an end in mind. I will take you along for the ride. Everything has been developed by this point. So you will get to there's fan service, there's inside jokes, there's Easter eggs. Oh, it's really cool about our comic. So we have the comic, but we also have these other things that you can do with the world. So for every campaign that we do, we are doing a short film. So if you go look at the campaign from my first issue, or it's on my YouTube channel as well, we created a commercial for an undead retirement community called Pine Fox. So it's like it's an actual commercial, and then I intersplice like riots and things on fire. So it has this good juxtaposition of like what the world wants you to think is going on with the undead. So like white picket fences and a happy retirement, live separate and don't be a threat to anybody for your undead years, right? And then there's like what's really happening in the world, where it's like people shooting each other in the street and like, get out of here, go home, we don't want you here, riots, and like it's just, you know what I mean?
Is there like cities that's just not touched by any of this for that to kind of work? Because you said it's like a post-apocalyptic era, like you got cowboys in the western side, but you're also saying that there's these commercials like saying everything's good. So is there like communities that's like separated from that, like where it's just they're just lying to them? Okay.
Yeah. So there's like, if you get farther north, the undead dislike the cold because it makes them function differently. So there's populations in the north that are just living.
Okay.
But again, the world is so big that there's so much things going on. It's like, I can't fit it all in that comic. So you're seeing our cowboy, his name is Jude St. Clair. You're seeing his point of view as he moves through this world. But like I said, like this commercial, it will help you understand more of how the world works, but you won't see that in the comic because you only see what Jude is seeing, right?
Okay.
Right.
So we explore more of how the world works with all these additional things that you can participate in. So we have the commercials. I'm just about to hit the next one real hard. We're doing a video of conspiracy theories. So it's like if a reporter was walking around interviewing the public right after the incident happened, right? What do you think broke the death process? And I'm just collecting all these crazy ideas that people have. So people can participate in this. So if you're a Path of the Pale Rider fan or not, if you just want to be in the video, contact me and I will put you in this video. There's a way for you to be in it.
There you go.
So
people.
it's just kind of a fun thing. Even if you want to be on there and say like, no comment. I mean, I can get you in there, right? Because it's kind of this meta experience. So we have the short films and then we have riddles. So the back cover of every issue is a riddle. And if you solve it, it will take you to some place in the real world.
Oh, neat.
Here, let me show you. So this is the riddle for number 1.
Okay. What is that?
So if you look, it's a lot of red, but if you look, there's stuff in blue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you look even harder, there's more stuff in blue hidden in there. So search and you will find.
All right, somebody get Batman. We need a Batman.
But the cool part is in every episode, if there's a riddle, a lot of times I'll put the key to solve the riddle in the comic book somewhere or in the merch. So our issue number 2 is coming out. I've already completed the riddle. So that's a fun thing. It's actually, I've been testing it. People like that one quite a bit. So you'll get stuff from like my characters or my world. Like it might be a phone number for you to call and you hear a message from the police force, like we call them the collectors that go and collect all the undead and separate them, right? So it's like the anonymous phone number that you can call to report your neighbor, something like that. Or like maybe a postcard from someone in the world, or it might send you to a secret YouTube video where it'll give instructions on how to hack a disc. So it's like this whole nother layer where you get to participate
cool.
with the world. Yeah.
It helps people invest into the project and the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
I mean, if you
little
just
touches.
right, if you just want to read the comic, power to you. I mean, that's the meat and potatoes. That's the death, dying, destruction.
But
right
if you want to be a
there.
super fan,
right,
you dig
solve
into
the
the
riddles.
deepness of the world. Yeah.
And then if you want to be an Uber fan, participate in the short films because then you actually get to be a part of the world itself. So
you could be part of this big ever-growing universe that might end up being on Netflix
someday. Who knows? I mean, that's the ultimate goal, wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
I mean, even if we are animated, if we get like Castlevania treatment, I'd be happy with that. Absolutely.
The way you were talking about the madness that this undeath brings on, it reminded me of like dementia or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And it's
So
like
I model it
they might
after.
confuse people.
What's that? Go ahead.
It might confuse people even in the universe. They might think that they're zombies, but they're actually just got dementia or something.
Yeah, I mean it's if you think about the decay process, it's like the first day or two you might be normal, and that's pretty much it. After that, it goes downhill pretty quick.
At your like 4th use of like deodorants, you're like, oh man,
like I'm still
they're gonna know. They're gonna know I'm dead.
right. Like
what these flies keep coming around.
It's like I think I give a pretty healthy homage to Death Becomes Her in that movie where it's like they use Bruce Willis uses like makeup and industrial chemicals on people to kind of hide that they're undead. So it's like stuff like
movie.
that.
I remember that one.
I don't know about wearing a banana hammock in the video, Pale Rider. I mean, you can, but
oh gosh, oh Yeah, my chat just refreshed. There's a bunch of messages, ain't there? I have not paid attention. Oh, I better get caught up on that. So let me see. We've got him saying catch up. No, we're not catching up on Sugar Lore. I'm not highlighting that. Gosh dang it, Pale Rider. We got Pops here. He's giving me hob about how I said your name.
No,
birthday.
that's an inside joke. So when I go on the Madness, because I'm on there usually every Tuesday for the Tuesday morning brew, Rich Parada, he's Italian, right? Of course, my last name is Italian, so he always introduces me as Laurie Calcaterra, like the most Italian. Okay, so that kind of stuck. So now Pops does it too, Calcaterra, like, and they just butcher it, and they're like cold cutter. Really?
His birthday was like last week too, I think,
It was
right?
on the 2nd. Happy birthday, Pops.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, don't
He's a young
don't-
age of 35.
don't bring up. Don't now that I know that's bullshit.
Dang. I mean, you do look like you could be like his younger son.
Well, I'm
Oh,
I'm
kinda-
like
you kinda look like
34, and Pops is supposed to be like.
He's in better
like
health than you, I think.
My dad or uncle or something.
I'm pretty sure Pops is.
Yeah, probably. Now, yeah, don't mention Rich. But we got the other Pale Rider in the chat. We got Pale Rider in the chat. Him and Rich are feuding.
Oh.
They're always fighting in the chat between each other.
I'm friends with everybody, so.
We got Shadowhawk Talks. Hail, hail. We got El Gargoyle saying Chris owes us 2 songs.
Chris, do you sing?
No.
He has a beautiful voice.
He apparently he's keeping score there. Although that's a little rookie number. We're going to be getting that up further. Let's see. Morning Roast merch.
Woohoo!
Let's see. Trying to get caught up here.
Oh, so Pale Rider. If people don't know what that means, that's one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically death.
Girlfriend.
No, we're not ripping off Sandman. Yeah, so if you read Revelations, it's like it talks about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and that the last one that rides a pale horse, and he who sits upon him is named Death. So this is like the path of death. Like death is missing. We don't know why, but we're about to find out. So the path that Jude St. Clair takes looking for death as well. So there's a few different, meanings behind that name. But it could be like Jude himself. He's a pale rider on a horse looking for something. It's his path. So it's like, take your pick.
Be nice.
She
could kick your ass. I have heard.
I didn't bring any weapons on the show today, so.
Now you did the Kickstarter. So is this for the Indiegogo now? Is what we're doing?
I'm Kickstartering the 2nd issue.
Oh, okay.
So we're on issue number 2. Marco has done the cover. Oh, if you look I uploaded some slides. That one that says number 3, POPTR. That one has the new cover for issue number 2.
What?
And they can still get issue number 1?
Absolutely. I still have some first print editions. If you're looking to purchase one, you can get a print version.
Oh, wow.
We also have we're on Indiegogo. We're not Indiegogo. We're on Global Comics, and we're on Webtoon, where you can read the first issue for free. And of course, we're working on getting that number 2, up and running. So the best thing for you guys to do is to sign up for that pre-launch. I have a tentative date in mind of September 30th. We might need to push it back 1 week, just depending on if I can get all this stuff done, because I got my short film to do. Marco's doing the 4 preview pages, which he should be done. And then I have like 2 variant covers that are in the works. So if everything lines up, we'll launch on the 30th. If not, we'll push it back a week. But we got some pretty cool stuff.
I did see on your website that people can still get volume 1, right?
Yeah, they can. I still have a few first print edition. And then, of course, we're going to be doing a second print when we do the Kickstarter for the next one. I'm sure, if you want to do a catch-up tier, of course, we have that both digital and physical available. We are out of all of the variants So I need to update the
Oh,
webpage
good.
that those are sold out. But we had 3 different variants. We had a Big James, which is the bear, which I don't have on me. We have this lovely David Rodriguez with the zombies and the disc. It's a broken disc. Those are sold out. And then the Everett Watkins, Jude St. Clair with the smoking gun, sold out. Which I'm not complaining, right?
Yeah, that's a
And then,
good
of course,
problem to have.
This is the
Yeah.
cover that you will be receiving at this point, the A cover, which is Marco DeFillo's fabulous cover with the shattered glass. If you look at our Kickstarter pages from the first issue, there's a scene where Jude is on this cliffside road and it's pretty beat up, and him and his horse know there's an undead bear, but they decide to go anyway. And he stops to pick up this glass from, like, there's a zombie smashed under a rock still holding onto this glass, and he stops and he like yanks it out of the hand. It goes flying in the air and he like dives to catch it. He gets this glass and it's like, what do we have here? And it's this glass with the map of Las Vegas. Dun dun dun. And then he's like, oh, what am I doing? This was so dumb, right? So he and the horse continue. They sneak over this bear, which is lying across the road, and it's quote unquote asleep. And the horse trips on the beat up road, and this glass that Jude stopped to get flies out of the saddlebag, smashes in the road, and wakes up the bear. So consequences to every action. How this world works, it's a pretty sucky place. It's like stop and tie your shoes and you get eaten by a swarm of insects. I don't know. It's just how it goes.
Do they? I guess the insects stay alive too, right? Is what you said?
Correct.
I feel
I
like
don't think I'd last long in this world,
Yeah,
Chris.
I feel like
You know?
the humanity wouldn't last long once the insects became undead.
I'm in Ohio,
That's
so
the
I got
problem
killed by
is that
like a
that's-
horde of cicadas.
I mean,
first summer of
that's
this
the
shit.
thing. So I know you had
Locusts
mentioned
everywhere.
becoming vegetarian, but it's like, how do you stop a swarm of bugs, undead bugs, from eating crops? Pesticides don't work.
Yeah.
So we're starving. We're overpopulated. We're angry.
Well, would the dead insects and people and stuff still require the same kind of food and nutritions, or
now,
will they care?
they wouldn't. However, if you're an insect,
Just
you
instinct?
probably only do like 2 things really well. which is
breed
eat
and eat.
and reproduce, right? Those
Yeah.
are 2 things. Obviously, the reproduction won't work, but that doesn't mean that these guys understand.
Just zombie cicadas out there just doing it like
Yeah, they're just mindless.
I know, mindless
mindlessly
and
having-
nothing is happening, right? But
Yeah.
it's like they also probably don't understand that they don't need to eat, so they're still continuing with.
it's kind of like the zombie thing. You know, zombies don't require the
Right.
food, but it's an instinct, so they still go
Right.
for it.
No, I think it's
Depending on the
different.
lore of the zombie, I know.
It's different with humans because we can understand, being living and dead. But it's like once your brain starts to decay,
Yeah.
it's all downhill. And that's the hard part, because in this world, it's like I acknowledge zombies exist, or like zombie TV shows. So you know that there's people out there shooting these undead in the head, trying to make them stop. And all they do is they make their existence worse, because then they can utilize less of their decaying brain.
I guess like
made 'em
eventually
run
would
Just made 'em
plague
worse.
would a plague just kind of take everybody out after a while? I always wondered like zombie apocalypses, like once you have like so much dead things, all the bacteria and all that and all the disease would just end up killing anything lively, right?
You have to read to find
I
out.
mean, I know you won't.
There's an
die.
undead solution
You become
out
part
there.
of the other people.
You'll have to read it once you get to. I think I addressed that in issue number 8.
I would just live out in the ocean. I mean, my biggest fear is eaten by a shark.
Yeah, now you're just gonna have undead aquatic life to deal with, Shay.
I was gonna say you
Yeah,
can
but-
still get eaten by a shark.
But at least I'll be on a big boat. I hope there's a couple of us, and then once they kind of turn, if they start smelling weird, it could be like their third day. Like, dude, I promise I'm not dead. I just ran out of. I don't care. Push me off the boat.
They're like, they just toss you overboard. Live your existence in the belly of a whale, like Jonah.
I'm
Yeah.
safe. I'm on a boat, and then just a flock of birds just come maul you.
Yeah.
I
or giant
mean, really,
whales.
at this point, anything that has a heartbeat or had a heartbeat becomes a threat.
Mhm.
So
Oh man, we get
it's
mobbed
scary. It's a
by
scary place to
groundhogs
be.
over here.
Groundhogs.
no, not the undead groundhogs.
they're chewing through the doors.
God.
Think of something that's like
they're
super
coming up through my
cute and
basement.
become
God,
super aggressive, and it's like, oh no, the fluffy guinea pigs, no.
all those children's dead guinea pigs and goldfish come back to kill them.
just coming up through the toilet. Oh,
Oh my gosh, can you
You
imagine?
said he ran away.
Fluffy. Oh, someone burn all the undead bugs.
That's a lot. I mean, it's a lot of undead. We got to remember, they stay in spirit form, though, right?
But let
I mean,
me
I don't
ask you
know.
this: how long does it take for them to burn up to a crisp where they wouldn't be a threat anymore? Could they burn down your house in the meantime while they're still on fire?
you're like you even catch a whiff of an anthill and they're like napalming it.
Yeah. Well, that and you also said this is like a world where everything's kind of already gone to shit, so it's not like it's as organized as it is now. We can't just like create those scenarios of like, oh, let's just gather a bunch of stuff and put it in this incinerator, right?
Right, and it's like people start to leave positions. It's like government gets involved. They start hoarding things. It's like imagine the beginning of COVID, where like
yeah, we couldn't even handle COVID. People, do you think we can handle this?
No.
I mean, come on.
That's my point. Is like we saw
that.
COVID happen, and it's funny because I wrote all this stuff in 2018, and then when 2020 started happening, and there's like riots, and
COVID took my idea. Where did that disease come?
Like this needs to stop following my story because as soon as the dead start walking, things are bad, right? This is bad. But it's like people are like going to be hoarding, and people are going to be acting crazy, and it's like, do we still manufacture guns when the undead are the problem? Do guns work on the undead?
No, but they still work on the living.
Right, so you control the living, but are they going to continue to make bullets for
it'd be limited.
The public, and the military would just take them all.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Well,
yeah.
Right.
Screw them. I'll make my own bullets.
So it's just, it's a lot to think about.
Maybe start creating like underground societies, maybe?
Yes.
You can start doing that. And then, like I say, when people start, getting to the disease or whatever, and then you just, well, yeah, I'm hoping it's metal. I'm hoping we're smart enough to do that.
The power of groundhogs.
There is an underground. I created the undead underground. So like if you're because when we get to a point where the government's like, okay, living and dead no longer can cohabitate, right? They take away rights. If you're undead, you can't own property, you can't drive a car, you can't vote, you can't have firearms. They strip everything away. Because if you think about it, in the real world, you lose all those rights when you die anyway, right?
Yeah.
So they just keep it the same. Like once you no longer have a heartbeat, you lose all those rights. But it's like, where do you go? What do you do? Where is a safe place for these people to go?
Because then you're kind of looking for a purpose,
Right. So then there's the undead underground that will help you get to a place that's maybe, I don't know, more pleasant for you to go. You know what I mean? Where you're not going to be burned to a crisp immediately or parted out and put on trees. I mean, like they do all these crazy things to the undead, right? So bad stuff happens. What else was I going to say? Oh, I was going to ask you this. So what would you guys do? Do you have kids?
No.
I do not.
Okay. Well, let's turn it around then. Are your parents? Let's say you're living with your parents during this time and one of them passes away, but the three of you live together. How do you handle that when they come get your mom?
Wait. When they try to come get the mom, the mom's dead? Is what you're saying?
Your mom is dead. Your dad is alive, and you are alive.
Mm-hmm.
But the collectors show up on your doorstep and say, "We're here to take her."
I'll be like, "Oh, thank God, it's about time." Been dealing with this woman my whole life. You know how long it took her to die, and she still wasn't dead.
So then you call the hotline yourself. I see.
I was what I called. My dad's like, "Who's this?" I'm like, "I've been waiting."
I don't know. Wrap it up. Get her out of here. I called that phone line like 2 hours ago. Get it done.
Yeah, what took you so long? The beaver's out back? I know.
You're 10 minutes late. This is free, right?
But I mean, like, if you had kids, imagine that. Like, you're alive and your child is undead. And they come to get your kid. or vice versa. Your child is alive and you're undead.
Mm-hmm.
And they
Oh,
come to get you, and your child will be all alone in the world. It creates all of these terrible situations, you know?
That means mom wouldn't need to sleep. Good gosh, she'd just be fussing at me all 24/7.
And slowly forgetting things. So then asking you the same question over and over and
Oh,
over.
geez.
Or anything
Yeah.
else. You know what I mean? So it's just it's a sucky place to be.
You have to go into like Fallout where you put like a brain in a jar or something to keep them fresh.
Well, but it's like, did you guys see the picture of the bear? Did you see the picture of the bear?
I've seen it,
bear?
the one on your Kickstarter where he's behind the cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I mean, that's a bad day right there.
Mm-hmm. Well, cowboy, if you weren't undead, you're about to be.
It's like, how do you get away from that? It's an apex predator, so can't shoot it, can't run away from it. It can climb trees, it can swim.
A lot of people forget how.
I mean, when they still have like a natural
impressive
fear for
bears
that
can
stuff. I
be.
mean, yeah, you could say you can't shoot it, but you can. I mean, their joints and stuff still aren't, a defense, right? I mean, if you blow away its kneecap, it's still going to like limp. So you can
Correct.
still shoot them.
I mean, that's the
you can't
best
kill
thing you
it,
can
but-
do is like take off a limb so it can't run after you. But
Yeah.
with a bear, good luck.
Well, yeah, in those scenarios, yeah. Yeah.
Like by the time you cut off its leg, it's gonna have consumed your face. So
Maybe a flamethrower of some sort. That might be kind of nice to carry around.
maybe
Yeah,
I don't
you just have a
know.
giant flaming bear charging you.
True. It's like I don't know.
Well, we'll be able to see.
This
I'm
is
just
true.
I'm like, now, I mean, if you had your back turned into it, then I guess, well, you're dumb anyways. But
You just
All
need
right.
to bring.
I wonder what's going on out here. The giant bears.
Consumes you.
Bear ninja.
It's a bad day. It's a
Bears
bad
are
day.
quick though. I just saw a video on YouTube where like
Mhm.
a mom bear like charged like those guys coming down like a creek. It had like 3 cubs, and that thing just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't realize how fast they can get to you.
really
Yeah,
fast.
it's like-
yeah, they're super fast.
I saw another, I think I was on TikTok, and it's like this hunter, there's 2 guys in a blind in a tree, and there was 2 cubs down on the ground, and they blinked, and the one of them was like up
Like,
the
right
tree.
up on it. Yeah.
Yeah, like hanging out behind him, and the guy's like doing the selfie, like, oh my God,
Yeah,
oh my
look at
God,
this.
oh my God.
Yeah.
And he was lucky he didn't do anything, but hello.
People underestimate bears. I think they get used to like the cuddly,
Winnie the
videos
Pooh.
or stuff like that, and they forget like those things are crazy wicked. You don't want to
Yeah.
mess with them.
Yeah.
They'll eat you. They will.
Oh, so says a hearty hello from Dunkozifa. He came over for a few beers and is now sat next to me grinning like a maniac because he likes the morning roast and westerns.
Then you will love this. Okay, so I love spaghetti westerns. Like I love watching freaking Clint Eastwood and like the corny fights and the music, and it's just like you watch like the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's a movie called Pale Rider, Fistful of Dollars. I mean, I could go on. They're all on HBO recently, and I was just watching them.
Tombstone. I love Tombstone.
Oh, there's even a documentary where they go find the cemetery that was in the end of Good, Bad, and the Ugly, where they have the shootout, and it's like it's a place in Italy. It's really neat. So you'll get a lot of those eye squints, and like we have a lot of just like a lot of homage to the old westerns that were so popular back when my dad was watching them and I was there hanging out on the couch like, what's this?
Now, did this character, since it's following like the gunslinger kind of vibe here, and we've talked about the guns
too.
The gun's not efficient, has he adapted to that? Like, does he have any other like things like traps on him or something, or anything to kind of help him that's other than a gun, since the gun's obviously not going to contribute much?
Well, he has a machete. A lot of times in this world, the ideal weapon to have is a taser, because the electrical weapons will still make the undead stop because they still have a nervous system. You ever turn on the electricity on a frog and watch the feet twitch?
all the time.
Right. Hey, we did that in science class in high
Yeah.
school.
Who doesn't do that?
I mean, I didn't do
up
that
top.
last weekend, but you know what I mean? So it's like the
Right.
nervous system can still be affected. So like they switched from a lot of like ballistic weapons to electrical weapons.
All right, that's cool.
So you'll see things like that, or you'll see like the disc. There's a weaponized disc that arcs electricity between the discs, so they can
So at
take
this
out
point,
like a mob. What's
in
that?
your world, batteries are probably more valuable than bullets.
Yes.
Like somebody trading, you want somebody, you want batteries.
And a lot of times when you're reading my story, Jude has his gun, but he has no bullets. So it's like, what good is it?
Right.
So,
right.
but again, unless you're having a foe that's alive, it doesn't matter. You could look
Now,
down that.
is the transition take a minute? Like, say, like you're fighting somebody for survival. Like you come
Yes.
across somebody
Oh,
and they're like, "Oh, you have supplies." Because in this world, right? That's what it'd be like, right?
Yes.
Like, and
So
if you fight that person, you kill them. Are they instantly just like, okay, now I'm part of the dead, or does it take a minute to?
you
Yeah.
are correct. There is and this is the first time this has come up, which is amazing that you realize that. But it's like when you are dying, you're still going through that process of bleeding out, or all that nasty stuff that happens when
Probably
you
a mind
die.
thing too. You're probably panicking at the same time. Your
Right. So it just
natural
depends
instincts.
on, do you shoot yourself in the head, or are you eviscerated? You know what I mean? Are you
Right.
bleeding out, or is it brain dead?
Eat
So
by a
there's
bear.
a different amount of time. And then I talk about the death sickness. So how they wake up, what it feels like, kind of being in a fog, what their skin feels like, what it looks like. It's different. So there is a time where it's like, if you kill them, there is like a short period of time where you can take their stuff and get out of there before they can. I mean, can you imagine having a gunfight with somebody and they're undead and they just shoot you back? I mean,
Yeah. Now, do you have like, I don't know, I don't know how in depth of the world you've gone. It seems pretty far.
it's pretty in depth.
Do you have like a culture of the people who want to be dead? Like, because like I figure once in a while, like, okay, now I'm looking at eternity on this planet. Even if I win, even if say like all the things that were alive are dead and everything's just dead, you think eventually they want to end the suffering of just existing on a dead rock after a while, right?
Yeah, but there's really no escape. So even when you're a pile of bones, like there's this.
Yeah, I just
place
wondering,
that you get to later on in the story called the Valley of Bones, and all that's there is just people who have decomposed.
But you
to the
know
point.
that. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah,
Yes.
you know in your head,
Yes.
there's no escape from it. But I'm saying as a character, they don't know what like I can only see like
10
scientists.
years in, they do know.
Oh, that there's like no absolute no way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, like there's conspiracy theories going around, and people are still able to communicate globally to some extent, depending on where you are. So yeah, I pretty much people understand that there is no escape. There are things that are secret, like when the collectors come and get the undead and they take them away to the undead retirement community, nobody knows what that looks like because nobody comes back. So there's conspiracy theories about that. There's like the Fountain of Youth is out there, El Dorado is out there. So it's like we start building all these other myths and legends back into the world where people are like, if I get to hear, the answer is here. So that's what Jude's actually doing. He has this journal with all these conspiracy theories, and he's just walking around trying to either prove which ones are right or debunk or gather more to see, what caused this to happen. So
now, are they as mindless?
Imagine. What's that?
I know we covered like the chicken nugget thing. Like if they get cut in pieces, they're still moving.
Yeah.
And we kind of talked about the incineration part.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they're completely incinerated, you're saying there's still like something there, right? Now, once they're like this, I don't know, like a spirit type thing, do they have a form? And if so, is their intelligence reborn? Like, are they back to kind of normal, or are they just still like a mindless entity?
Yeah,
So we're all doomed to be retarded spirits at the end of the day.
I don't really want to go into that because I have a
it's too
whole
much
issue
spoiler?
on
Gotcha.
that.
Gotcha.
But I do answer that question on what happens when it's like you're just ash.
Okay.
It's not happy. Just put it that way.
You need barrels of acid.
Barrels of acid. I mean, then
Dip them
you're still liquid, but you're still there. It's like there is no escape. There's no way to escape. You're still here, and Yeah. You'll find out. I think it's issue number 11 where you find out the why. And then so 12 and 13 kind of wraps up the first arc, and then we start again in the next one, and I answer lots more questions. So
let me go and hit some more of the chats.
I was gonna say, you guys have to read it. You'll have to read it. I'm not lying when it's like I got lots of twists. I kill almost everybody. We can draw you into the comic. I've drawn people into the comic already. My guarantee is at one point we squish you. We have a good time. We have we're pretty sarcastic.
There would certainly be plenty of ways for a person to die in this world. Over and over and over again, technically.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we got Aaron joining us. Hey.
Hi, Aaron.
We got, let's see, Alex saying after 10 years you wouldn't think anymore.
It'd just be bones at that point. Well, you couldn't smell yourself anyway, so it doesn't matter.
What happens if you get like a crazy scientist who, like, I don't know, takes like a head of an ostrich, puts it on a human body, but has like, I don't know, a shark fin? Like, can they do crazy shit like that?
There is crazy shit like that. Thank you. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, okay.
We're getting into some of those wild, like, lower budget horror movies, like those, like, what was it, Reanimator, where he was like personalities and
just about anything that you can think of goes. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, there's people out there doing crazy shit to other undead people, or experimenting, or trying to figure things out. I mean, another one of my inspirations was, of course, the game Fallout. And if you've played that game, you know, like, what they did to those people in the vaults. You know, they're experimenting on people. Like, corporations are.
See, that's what I was getting with. I know you said like they know themselves, but since it's like a apocalyptic world, eventually the news probably isn't going to exist for everybody, or they're not going to believe everybody. So I was thinking, like, maybe there'd be like cults of the dead people,
yes,
who still believe that they can be saved and have their own like cult mindset. You know.
Yes, Shane. Come along, you belong. It's like, you've already figured it out. Yes, I have cults, I have prophecies, I have conspiracy theories, people that think it's religion, people that think it's aliens, people that think it's government or viruses.
Yeah.
They're all there. They're all there.
It's all there, people.
Canadian interruption.
That's it.
Who's that?
Sim.
Oh, that's not here.
He's talking about Sim, yeah.
Aww.
Let's see. Elgar says, are they Return of the Living Dead zombies?
No, they're not flesh-eating zombies.
Watch Return of the Living Dead?
I've watched Return of the Living Dead.
Of course.
That's the one where he starts off in the barrel, right? Isn't that the Return of the Living Dead? The guy's in the barrel. And he explodes out of it, and he's all melted. I can't remember what that guy's name is. It's like a famous zombie.
Oh, you're talking, yeah. That's where he starts out in the barrel. Yeah, you're talking about like the one where the girl's dancing. And
he's all like tar looking because he's been in there forever.
Yeah. Is that Return of the Living Dead?
I thought so.
I can't remember.
If you like zombies, I'm also in this other group called Zombies Live, with two other indie comic creator groups. There's a comic book called Raise. They're on their 5th issue. They just finished their Kickstarter for their 5th issue. And then also Avalon, who just finished their Kickstarter for number 2. They're both zombie trope indie comics. So the 3 of us, there's 4 of us, because there's the 2 guys from Raise that work together. So there's the 4 of us are all partnered together, and we started a new group because we're pissed off that, like, zombies have jumped the shark pretty much. And, like, there's really not any new good content. Everything's been done. So it's like something like my project, where it's like we take the zombie trope and we turn it upside down. It's just a different take. And so that's what myself and these guys are trying to do, is like getting people to see that zombies are still a thing. They've been around since the 1800s. They're not going anywhere, but they've just been done and redone and redone. And let's get a new take and get some new material out there, because we all know that Netflix, no. Do I have to
you didn't like Resident Evil?
Did you?
I watched the first episode. That's I
okay.
I only stomached it because it was on, right? So I'm watching it. I'm like, I gotta at least finish this first episode. It was so hard, and it's not like I try to hate something just because the internet tells me to hate it.
I know.
Like, I'll give it a shot. And it was bad. It was boring. For like the first episode, I feel like there should be a lot going on to keep me entertained to get to the next episode.
Yeah.
And to me, just the two girls in a school that like somehow like broke into their dad's like government building by using a cell phone with his voice, but there's no security at all. They're just like, I'm Whisker.
And they let out this dog, damn it.
There's nobody there. They make their all way to a dog because the one sister is like an animal activist or a vegetarian or some shit. I don't know. She wanted to free the animals. And then like the one cage they couldn't see in, she opens up and it's that dog, and it chases them all the way through this fucking building. And gets the one sister at the end. I'm like, this is. And then the jumping back and forth from the future, like when she's older, the one sister, back to them being in school where she's getting bullied on and like picked on in school. I'm like, this is. And I saw where the guy who played Wesker came out like calling people that got it canceled. When nobody got it canceled. I mean, if the viewers aren't there, the viewers aren't there. Like that's just how the world works. And like him trying to say like pretty much calling people like me who didn't like it like a hater. I'm like, I didn't want to go in hating it. It has nothing to do with any race swap. It has nothing to do with the characters like being girls or anything like that. I don't see how it was Resident Evil. I just felt like it was a totally different, just because you buy a franchise and you slap it on there doesn't mean that's what it was.
I watched the whole thing.
Oh, I feel sorry for you. That's what, 8 episodes?
No, but I wanted to see what they all had, and it had some really good moments because again, there hasn't really been anything new zombie-ish for a long time. So I wanted to see what they had in store, and maybe it could grow on you. I don't know. It did have some good zombie action, right? So there was a lot of really good episodes where it's like zombie hordes and impossible situations that she had to get out of. It had like John Wick-esque gunfights in one of the episodes. So it had some good things. However, the main character, Jade, they wrote her to be unlikable.
Yeah.
That's hard. When you're already dealing with the crowd that's going to push you back on what you're making. Because let's be honest, Resident Evil people have not liked anything live action ever. Right? They want the cartoons, they want the anime, they want the video game. And the guys that keep making these live action, they get more and more fantastical, but they never really tackle, like, we give us Claire.
The weird thing is, that's where the money is too. Like I just don't understand it. It's like when they want to come with their own thing, I'm like, but why? The reason you bought this because it already comes with an audience,
right?
So to take that and be like, well, we want to just tweak this and not. I'm like, you have a whole universe, and not every Resident Evil game is great. We know that,
right?
But
but I mean, like the best part about the Resident Evil franchise is how terrible Umbrella is, and how overstretching they are, and they have their fingers and everything is, it's like they take any little thing and they corrupt it. So that's what they wanted. I think that's why they had to attach Resident Evil name to this. You know what I mean? They could have done a completely different zombie series, and I don't think it would have gotten as much pushback until they incorporated Resident Evil franchise with it. You know what I mean? If it was its own standalone, it wouldn't have been so bad. But I mean, one, Resident Evil fans that have an expectation. Two, you wrote the main character, Jade, to be unlikable, which is not a good idea. I mean, like, we've seen villains as protagonists before, and it's been done, but I don't know, just the way that they did it. It's like, oh, she gets everybody killed, or don't listen to her advice, or she's doing stupid stuff because she's selfish. And it's like, there was never any redeemable qualities about her to keep people interested in her story. And the fact that they just kept jumping back and forth was confusing. They didn't give us enough information about, what was the other one's name? Not Jade, the other one.
The other sister?
Yeah.
I say I watched one episode, so it's like one there, not the other.
I never watched it.
They kept referring to her being so terrible and that she was, Jade, oh, my sister died 11 years ago, stuff like that. But it's like, but what did she really do that was all that bad? And I don't think they ever gave us that story. Yeah. So anyway, when stuff like that comes out and I'm just like, man, my story, give my story a chance. Go read my story. I have so much in there that people will enjoy. But yet you get Resident Evil point 17
Yeah.
redo. It's like it's still not right.
Well,
Give
like I
us-
said,
give us
Netflix
newbies
is
a
failing
chance.
with all the anime shows too. Like they turn all the animes into live action, and they fail over and over again. It's like how many of them got to fail before you? I mean, they must still be making money off of it because they're continuously doing it, even with the backlash. But
Yeah.
I know. I don't know. I don't know
they've been
why
so
they still do
bad
that,
for
or
no
if
reason.
it's a tax write-off.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Hashtag
maybe.
Warner Brothers.
Oh,
Tax
Pop
write-off.
said that he just did his video, Laurie.
Oh, yes. Send it to me, Pops. I need it. We're doing it. I'm putting it together this week. So if people are in Texas, I'm coming out this weekend with my microphone and we're going to record. But if you guys want to send them in virtually, through my email, send them to me so I can start editing, because we want to go live September 30th if we can get everything done. So
We got Emperor Papa Palpatine here. He says, "Don't get me started about the dad."
why is that? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, me, old Palpatine can't seem to stay dead.
I know.
Hey, we got McGee.
Was it like
Hey, McGee.
what did someone say? Like hide and seek championship? It's like of champion
Did
of
you guys,
all time.
since we were talking about the remakes and stuff, did you guys watch Rings of Power? Am I the only one?
I haven't watched it yet.
No,
I plan on it.
I like it.
plan on
I
it.
know, like it's back and forth on the internet and stuff, but
Well,
I watched the first 2 episodes. I actually thought it was really good. It's made really well. I like the characters. So
it's so hard nowadays to get anything produced and not have a polarized audience. I don't understand it. Where some things that can be kind of like intended to be humorous are just taken so far, where people are so angry about things these days. I don't know, angry,
Right.
so we're maybe passionate. People are very passionate about things that we're seeing today. I don't know. I'm just gonna watch everything so I can have my own opinion on it.
that's the way I look at it. Yeah, like I said, I enjoy the first 2 episodes. Some of the casting was a little weird. What was it? Not the main elf, not the main elf. Elrond. He's one of the main characters in a sense.
Yeah,
I thought his casting was a little weird. Like the actor's good,
yeah.
but just like the look, I'm like, how do you go from like having black hair to like blonde? I don't know. Maybe elves dye their hair later on in life after so many centuries, but small things like that. And still, I mean, it didn't ruin anything. Like I thought the dwarves were done really well. The orcs look awesome. The story so far has been pretty good. I'm looking forward to the 3rd episode. So I don't know. Like I said, I know it's getting the back and forth. I guess like they banned reviews, like bad
They
reviews.
turned
right
off
here.
reviews. Yeah, because they were getting review bombed.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't
It can
know.
be poisonous. Like I'm kind of like half and half with that. Like, it's their business. If they don't want, if I create something and I got like a backlash, if I had the ability to be like, oh, just turn this off.
Well, I know,
would
but
I don't
still,
know.
it's
Maybe.
like, are the people even watching the show, or are they just bombing it?
That's my thing. Yeah, that's like, is there just people just trolling and bombing and taking the word of a YouTuber or whoever, but they're like, oh, this show sucks. So the negative mindset goes into like, well, I don't want to watch it now. Like I said, I'll just watch whatever. I don't care. I'm one of those people like Star Wars. So many people bash Star Wars. I'm one of those people like, I like a lot of Star Wars. I don't care, whatever.
But you can appreciate what it is for what it is. You know what I mean? Like, is it the greatest thing? No, but can you still enjoy watching the lightsaber fights and stuff? Absolutely. Is it some of the story not make sense? Yeah, we can acknowledge that.
That's all Star Wars.
And
Star Wars has that problem since the original trilogy. People hated 1, 2, and 3 for the longest time. Now everybody's defending 1, 2, and 3 versus the 7, 8, and 9. There's same people that absolutely hated it when it came out. It came out when I was in school, and but now like with the newer ones, everybody acts like 1, 2, and 3 was amazing. Like everybody hated 1, 2, and 3 for the longest time.
Did you not see Jar Jar Binks? Like, hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
That's any franchise though.
This one again.
No.
I don't. So maybe it's
doesn't need
something
to
that
know
they
it.
can fill me in after the show.
No, that's all right. That's all right. We got good part. Oh, you
That's
already
what I was
read that
saying.
one.
It
Yeah,
was
you
like,
already read
I
that
mean,
one.
you can, but
Moromi. Hey. Let's see. I could be interviewed in my hot tub full of baby oil.
I mean, if you want to film it, dude, you can. I'll just green screen my hand with my microphone in there. The crazier, the better. Let's just say that.
No, El Gargoyle. No.
I
no.
mean, I'm looking for those crazy things that I haven't thought of to be in those videos because I want to hear it. You know, what would people think in that world if the dead no longer die? Anything could be the answer. Anything, really.
If it means I don't have to go to work tomorrow, I'm all for it.
But it's like in the
Right.
beginning, I'm sure they did have to go to
Shane,
work.
it's
It's
the
like
opposite.
die
You'll
on
be
a
working
Sunday and have to
forever.
get up and go to work on Monday. Like that's hell. That's hell right there.
The corporations are like,
What do we do that our
how can we profit off this? It's an unlimited workforce.
Yeah,
They
but for
never
how long?
die. Shane will
And
be
how
put to
long
work.
until they do an HR nightmare? So it's like I don't know.
Shane will be stocking those shelves forever.
No. And I guess you don't need to sleep either, so they're just having me there 24/7. And so I guess my brain can't function. I'm just kind of just throwing stuff everywhere.
I mean, you could still sleep.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Would you have to? No. Would you have to eat? No. But could you? Yeah. It's a weird place. Oh, can I show you guys some things?
Yep.
So one of the things that I had in my last Kickstarter,
You had your own
was-
Funko?
yeah,
Okay, no.
I
that's pretty
had-
fucking cool.
I had a level called the Singularity, and I had a Funko Pop made of Jude St. Clair, who's of course the cowboy. So right now, that one person who backed that level has the one in the white box. Now, the creator, the sculptor who does these is so awesome. He decided that he would help me out I wanted one, of course. I want my own. So I have a brown box version. So I'm going to be opening up these Jude St. Clair Funko Pops on the next Kickstarter. There's going to be limited 50.
Like, is it actually like a legit like Funko like company and everything?
Well, it's not Funk. No, it's
Oh,
not
it
going
just
to
says
say
Pop,
Funko
okay.
on it. I would have
Yeah,
to
it
talk
says
directly to
custom on there.
Funko.
Oh, I thought
This
you
was
did
a-
for a second. I'm like, man, she got like the legit Funko.
I mean,
Pop.
it looks like a legit box.
No, yeah, it's awesome.
He custom made this whole thing.
Shane's like, how
So
do I get those connections?
What's this guy's name? I need to
I'm
speak to
keeping
him.
the connections. No, I'm serious. If you want the connections to this guy, I'll happily share them. We want to keep him happy and working. But yeah, so
And
the next
Swarm
Kickstarter,
Funko
we're
is
going to
up
have
next.
50 of these available and then one of the Undead Bear. So that's going to be the new one. So the white box, the collectible version of this, of the new one. In other words, so every Kickstarter going forward, I'm going to have one of the new one, the prototype that will go out, and then everybody else can get the previous one that went out. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I have that. If you want to see how long you would survive in this world, Shane, I'm also doing a limited reward
very
level
well.
where I wrote a choose your own adventure story based on Path of
Oh.
the Pale Rider.
Nice.
You're gonna
Shane just
die.
wants-
So
Oh yeah. Lightning bugs. I'm like, oh, there's lightning bugs out here. Look pretty nice. Next thing you know, there's a glowing Shane running around the yard. Oh my god. Oh my god. Lightning bugs. Who would have known?
So there's some pretty interesting ways to die in there. But you get to choose your own path and see if you can survive. So I
Page
did-
3, dead. Shane
there
goes
is
out for
a way
ice
to
cream.
die on page 3, by the way.
Is that the ice cream truck, man?
Oh,
Yeah, man.
so Lion, you hate Funkos? That's so sad. That's okay. I'm sorry.
Shane doesn't.
Then
though.
it's
That's
not
why
for
he
you.
wants
I
the
have other
contest.
stuff going on. I have
You
this
love
really
my
cool
Funkos.
another backing level that I'm only doing 20 called the Bones of Despair. So when we're talking about how the bones are forever around and have your spirit in them, so you might be able to have your own collection of bones from this world. So we got lots of interesting stuff coming out on the next one, and then yeah. So that choose your own adventure, I'm only doing like I think a handful, like 25. But if everybody really wants those, I'll open it up for I think up to 50. But the first 25 have to sell first. So
Hey, that is a good point. Would my spiders that live in my house here, would they protect me from the undead bugs?
sure. I mean,
Well,
there's still going to
eventually
be
they'll come after
spiders
you,
that
though,
eat, right?
Well, I mean, that's the question though. Would they come after me, or would they continue to eat their bugs?
Oh.
It's a spider. It's going to eat bugs. It doesn't change who you are fundamentally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like spiders are still going to spider.
There we go, Shane. The
Um,
the ecosystem is preserved, so I can just keep my spiders hanging out in the house. I will be safe from other bugs.
That would actually almost
smaller
work until
bugs.
it's a giant swarm of them.
Yeah, like spiders can't take a lot of the bigger bugs, like
Just
praying
be those
mantises
spiders.
and cicadas and katydids.
I
They're
get
screwing
enough
them
bugs
things.
here. I get enough of my own bugs to combat the other bugs.
Yeah. All those bed bugs you have, you're screwed.
He's gonna build himself an army of spiders to protect him
Right.
from the army of undead other insects.
Yeah, it'll be all right. We'll figure it out. And then I just got to worry about the groundhogs. Let's see.
I'm still trying to think about my best. I guess like maybe somewhere in cold would be another good place to kind of at least try to survive until you die.
Yeah, because it's like something about the cold makes them not function as fast. It like makes them slow. You know what I mean?
I was just thinking less populated areas, but that
too.
That works.
I'm sure one has a story about taking out a bear. Probably. Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, Sim definitely.
Sim would be going on about that story about
being a
I killed that damn chicken, that rooster.
I don't know. Big James, that bear, he's been around the block. So it's like, I don't know how many people have tried to take out that one.
I have not tried to kill any bear. I just kind of let him hang out.
He's missing lots of parts. I think he's collected a bunch of, like, there's an axe sticking out of his back and barbed wire, and he's got holes blown in him in a few places from bullets. He's still coming. It's a bad day.
Now,
anyway,
can the dead?
I know.
Can the dead tell if somebody's alive or not? I know, like the living probably can't, unless like obvious physical or mental things going on. But once can like the already dead sense like if somebody else is dead?
It depends on if they're trying to pass or not. You know what I mean? I
didn't know if there's like a connection with each other. Kind of like, I don't know, like for some reason zombies just know another zombie's a zombie, so they don't eat each other.
I don't think they have like a sixth sense or any kind of like camaraderie like that. It's more like
undead fights.
Undead fights I think there could definitely be like a gladiator arena full of undeads fighting each other. That would be a thing. And now in my world, it would be more like the gunslinger, having a shootout at noon in the plaza. What was I gonna say about the undead? No, and a lot of times in the West, they cover like they're almost their entire body. So they'll have like the big cowboy hat, sunglasses, and a bandana. So you don't know who you're dealing with on purpose. They like it that way. They like to be anonymous. So that way it's like, do I pull my gun or do I pull my taser? I don't know what's in front of me. So that's kind of how they protect themselves too, and then they would probably try to pass as living or stop the decay process as best they can so they can stick around for longer, besides becoming a pile of bones and then just being, unable to participate in anything.
I guess we can drop a bunch of bones into the ocean for a while. I know it won't last, but just sink their asses.
Make everything out of bones.
That would be terrible. That's people.
They're just like one bone. That's it. It's like, damn it.
That's all that's left.
We gotta do what we gotta do here.
Their kneecap. That's all that's left. Oh, but you get to see lots of stuff. Like you'll see Jude, in the West and in the wild. And then we have an extended flashback. So I have 2 issues where you get to see the fall. You get to experience, how Jude got to go through like at the beginning and then the middle of the apocalypse. And then kind of what sets him on his path. And then we're back into it. And then he's back in the West. And it's like he goes to a bunch of different places. So you'll get to see different approaches to how people are dealing with stuff. You know what I mean? And then eventually you find the answer and then everything blows up again. So good times.
Oh, Red's here. Hey, Red.
Hi, Red.
Red is the one who made our intro video.
Oh, cool. I love that music, by the way. That's badass. I was jamming in the backstage. I was like, yeah.
He is also a comic book creator as well.
Cool.
Let's see. Oh, Rich is apparently drawing with Red Valkyrie right now.
Oh.
Supposed to be on the same time as the roast. Good soul.
Revenge.
Good soul. Keep them in line. There we go. Let's see. The decaying, the memory loss. What are you
That's pretty much
talking about?
Aaron.
This comic seems to be answering many questions about Joe Biden. Oh,
Poor Biden.
let's see. We got more of the link. Thank you,
There's
Soul.
a link. Thank you very much.
Alex says, "Are there any flashbacks to one of the first undead giving speeches to the nation with red background lighting?"
Red background lighting.
What?
We
It's
do
another
have
Biden
flashbacks.
thing.
Bear versus hog.
Hulk.
Ooh.
Mm.
Warthog? I don't know.
I think that the character needs a frying pan with him at all times. I want to see a scene where he's just going through the woods and like zombie squirrels just come out of nowhere and he's just dink, dunk.
Now, in the first issue, you do get to see Jude. He's in the middle of the night and there are a pack of wolves. He doesn't have a frying pan, but it was funny because Marco drew it so nice. And there's this one scene where like Jude doesn't really know that there's a pack. It's just like one. And he's like, nice doggy. And then it's like a whole pack. He's like, oh shit, you brought your friends. But then that one little panel where he said, nice doggy, I took out his wolf and I drew like this little Labrador with one of those beanies with the propeller on top. I was like, nice doggy. And he's like, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo.
We'll stop telling stories. Then he won't sing and now he won't even read chat. I'm working on reading the chat. I'm having to skip some things to get ahead. Leave me alone. And stop tisking me. Chris stopped telling stories that it missed my. But looks like he's still shopping. I'm not shopping. Leave me alone.
That's usually all it gets is an hour. Usually about an hour you start shopping.
I think when the focus is on the book, randomness always finds its way, but a show with structure is nice too. Yes. I'm trying to keep this. I do try to keep it professional. Let's see. Is this comic a necrophiliac's dream? What? Or nightmare? Whoa, Aaron.
I didn't go that way, Aaron. I saw your comment before. I wasn't going to bring it up. I don't. Nope. I don't.
Aaron's asking for a friend.
Yeah. He said, just throw it
We
up
don't have
there.
any undead pinups.
Is it illegal still? I don't know.
Well, I mean, she did
Maybe we'll
say
do
they
that.
don't have any
Just
rights.
for you,
to
Aaron.
it.
Just for you. We'll throw in an undead pinup for you.
Well, now we know how Aaron dies in the comic.
Yeah.
Bacterial infection. What else we got?
Let's see. I'm back had to go tell Silent Soul what happened. Let's see. Oh, what's Emperor say? He says, I know we at the Empire took pride in our lack of diversity until HR started to interfere. Now I have Wookiee identified as evil.
Oh, it's a bad day.
Now, Sim is in the chat,
Hello?
but not in the stream for some reason. What are you doing, Sim? Let's see.
Someone else had said something about an undead moose in the north, and I was like, "Oh my god, that would be terrifying." Scary. That was my buddy Jason, who's up north. He's like northeast.
They are big.
But
like you said, everything's still got its like natural instinct. It's not like a zombie thing where just because it's dead, it doesn't mean it's going to go on a killing spree.
No, not at first, maybe, but I think they're unpredictable. Where it's like maybe they could get aggressive. It's like if you think about, and I hate to say this, but it's like dementia. People that go, I've had family members go through dementia, and I got to witness some of. They all go through it differently. You know what I mean? Some are the sweetest souls. Some of them, it's like you couldn't believe the stuff that's coming out of their mouth. They could get aggressive. They could get combatant. It's like they slowly are not themselves. So it's like, could you have a moose that didn't know where it was and just wanted to hang out and lick lamp poles? I mean, yeah. Or it could want to rip you a new, another extra 3 holes with its horns. It's just unpredictable.
Yeah, my great aunt has Alzheimer's and all that. Let's see. Soul says, Shane, you tool. The best stuff to deal with that vapid and soulless stuff is to ignore it, not hate watch or even enjoy it.
I can't enjoy it. No.
Yeah, what are you doing? Because they don't care. They make everything up as they go, Shane. Shane, what are you doing?
What am I doing?
And Cole was saying the mooses are the most dangerous animal in North America.
Oh, we got
Like
Cole.
dude, if you saw a moose for real, like I'm sorry, like Dave came here from Mexico. He was like, hey, I want to see one of those eventually. You know, he thought they were the size of a fucking horse.
No.
They're the size of a to a first floor to a second floor building.
Yeah, they're even bigger. Yeah.
They're huge. Like
Huge,
that
like a
thing
tank.
that thing decides I'm going that way. You're there. Pray to God.
You're done. It just
You're
runs
done.
you over.
Look, dude, we had one here that rammed a fucking 18-wheeler, destroyed the wheeler, destroyed the engine, killed the guy. That thing walked off with like one angler off and died off a few meters away. It killed an 18-wheeler, headstrong. Like you don't
That's
fuck with a
crazy.
moose.
I know. So imagine
People
like
are more scared of a moose than a fucking bear at this point.
that'd be scary.
Because that
So-
moose, if it walks next to your house and it goes, I don't like that house. It just walks through it.
Oh. That's a funny
Working
comment,
on it.
Chris. That's funny.
Yeah, we were making fun of you in the chat because you're so freaking behind. It's not freaking funny. What happened?
It
Every
helps.
time I let you with Shane, everything goes to hell.
I blame everyone else in this stream right now. They won't let me get through the chats.
We're having a
their
good
fault.
time. It's hard when you're talking and trying to get all the chat.
And like I said, yes, me and Richard, we go wrestle bears every weekend.
I'm throwing Laurie under the bus.
It's a tradition of
What did
rite
I
of passage
do?
here, like jumping in icing water.
You're
makes
throwing
you
me
a
under
man.
the bus
Yep. Throwing you
Is
under the
that-
bus.
because
It's your fault I'm not caught up on the chat.
Because we're talking so much.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
okay.
You're not letting me get to the chats. That's all
See
it is.
that? See what I was telling? See, Laurie, you just saw it there. Usually it's always hashtag blame Sim. Now it's you. You can't even blame Shane. No, we can't even blame Shane. That's how much, the gym thing is going on there. I think. I don't know.
No,
Did you
it's
notice
good.
that,
No,
Chad?
no.
Yeah, we've had some
No.
good, thoughtful talk about how the world works.
I thought we were doing pretty good.
Shane has asked some
Hey.
questions that nobody has asked me yet, which is amazing considering that issue 1 is already out. You know what I mean? And I did 30-odd interviews already, before the, and during
Sim,
the first Kickstarter.
Some of us just know how to
Look at that.
be a
Sim. Look,
host.
look at them. They're all praising Shane now. Look at
You mean coming in once every 2 years
and look how well it works.
and pretending?
The Return of the King.
You mean comment, Mr.
You mean,
Brink?
you mean the Princess Bride is here? Shane?
Yes, I love
Oh.
Princess Bride. What's wrong with
I
Princess
know.
Bride? It's a classic.
King is here. The princess is there.
Oh,
Oh, Odin's here. He says, "Good morning, Sugar, Shane, Laurie, and chat. Missed the beginning and pitch. Someone drop the link again, please."
Oh yeah.
I'm sure Soul's got it. And you throw a link in there.
do we have a trailer for the first book?
I actually uploaded
There's-
our commercial down there in the show.
Yeah, I've seen you have
Yeah.
these.
And I got some
Live?
PowerPoint stuff. I got like
Oh,
3
neat.
different PowerPoints, which will show like slides of the comic. So the first and the second one show the first comic book in entirety. The third PowerPoint has the stuff that we have coming for the second issue, and then the one with the video obviously is our commercial. Ha ha.
Were you born?
So feel free, you can click on anything and I'll talk about it, or just play the commercial and I'll shut up.
That was my hint towards Chris. Like, hey, Chris, maybe you should play that trailer.
I was supposed to say, "Hail to Horror Radio Reborn." Hail, Richard.
What's
Let's
up,
see.
Richard?
I need to get through these. Let's see.
Thank you, Pops.
Oh, more. Oh God. Oh God. Sim and him are in the chat doing Canadian talk. It's past all day.
It was Sim, me, and Coleman. Yeah. How
Look,
we
look
also
at
we
Aaron.
also have something that's
Oh
called
my
the
God.
Great Moose Jousting. So you
Aaron's sucking up.
I was
jump on the
being-
moose.
Aaron, quit sucking up to Sim just because you're all working on a book together. Sugar, I try to keep it professional. Just means wearing clothes. What?
That's
No,
good.
no,
Wear
no, no.
clothes. Amen.
At least he's not sucking up to Shane.
I am being professional. we're not veering off the path. We're doing really good today.
Well, we weren't until Sim showed up.
Yeah, we'll see how long it lasts now. Tim's here.
Oh, you say that. I was watching in the thing, and I don't know.
Now everybody's got horror stories about moose. Moose horror stories. No.
I just cut my video.
Oh, okay. I'll get it. That's okay. If you want it, I mean, we still have time if you want to slow it down, or I can edit it to make it look fine. So don't worry about it, Pops. I'll take care of you.
All right. I'm caught up enough. I skipped a lot of chats there, so we're caught up now. Now I'm wondering, these slides. I've seen you post you added a bunch of stuff here at the bottom.
Yeah.
They are.
So this.
I like how I can go boop boop.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So this is kind of like our logo here. I don't want to say too much about it because you'll find out eventually in the story what this means. So just for now, know that this represents the story. So you'll see this later. But that's kind of like our background and our logo for a lot of different things. Like our Facebook group, this is the picture. And if you find us on Kickstarter, this is our picture. So the duality. John.
All right, we'll bring. Let's see, Aaron. What are you not working today, Aaron?
Okay, so I came on to clarify this thing. So we're not going to get too gross with this, but the necrophilia thing.
Oh, God.
God. Here was my question. Here's my question. Is it a dream or a nightmare? Because we know they're into dead bodies, right? So are they like, oh, cool, there's all these dead people? Or are they like, well, they're walking around and stuff, they're not really dead.
You won't necessarily comply.
They're like, oh, this is sad.
Like, please,
like, oh, this is sad.
Move.
Now I don't have anyone.
And now here's the thing. That's true. And here's the other thing is, once anatomy no longer works correctly because it's dead, I don't know.
Right.
It would work.
My blood don't get pumping if you're moving around. Ugh. Gosh dang it, Aaron. Why are you coming and bringing that in?
Yep. Because people are going to be doing that, of course. I'm not going to touch on that in the story. However, I'm sure it's going to happen. Thank you, Aaron.
Maybe you can do a spin-off.
No, I do have some spin-offs planned. I have one set up as a stretch goal already where I have an 8-page one-shot of some different things that will happen. The first one is called the Skinner. It's one of the bounty hunters in the world. You actually get introduced to him in the Choose Your Own Adventure book. And then I wrote like an offshoot on that. So there's plenty of things that we can explore outside of the main story. More characters we can introduce. There's plenty that we can do. It just depends on how much the people want. You know what I mean? And we'll find out when we Kickstarter. Because we have the main story in black and white. We're shooting for that color stretch goal. We really want to produce stuff in color. Marco's a great colorist. I mean, so this, here's the big James cover that I didn't have to show. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Jose Martinez. Very good. So like, here's okay. So here's like page 1. So 10 years into the apocalypse, this gives you very good, like Walking Dead vibes. You know what I mean? You got a cowboy on a horse in the apocalypse, and obviously shit has gone wrong, but look how this looks in color. It's amazing. Mark, and it's like, we just didn't get to that color stretch goal in our first campaign. Being that we're a new team, a new story, it was more important to us to get the comic out there, even if it was in black and white, and start the following, than to fail and not, because we were pushing for color. But now that people can see what kind of work he can do, it's like, we would love to just start doing color issues from number 2 and then out. I do have a stretch goal where we can go back and color issue number 1. That's always our intention. So you might see a limited re-release of issue number 1 in color. So there's that. So this dude right here, he was one of the backers of our first campaign. So we had a level called Immortality. We'll also have it on the next level where it's like, we will draw you into the comic. And this guy is lucky and he survived. So in that last panel, he made it.
Nobody survives in this universe.
No guarantees, right? Because we're going to kill just about everybody.
Well, technically, everybody does survive. That's the whole premise of the story, right? You don't really
Their
die.
body's dead and you're decomposing.
But in the world, at the end of the day, as
And
far as
hey,
we
80s.
know,
you're still
everything
around.
is internal.
This
Never
is true.
dies.
So here's like a
Definition of
disc
surviving,
that
Jay.
dude wears that will tell you if the heart's beating. So it's like here he is making this. He pulls his gun on this kid, which is scary as all get out. But it's like he wants to know what he's dealing with. Are you alive or are you undead? So he taps the disc. He lets the kid go. Right. So it's like we have these moments.
I do have a quick question. I
Yeah.
don't think we brought this up. If, say, me and Chris were fighting, and I cut off his arm,
Yeah.
but he lives, but the arm dies.
Uh-huh.
Is the arm? Will the arm still be animated afterwards? Like part of his soul would? Because you said like I know like once things are dead. you
Can I
chop them.
direct the arm to do things for me? like
Oh
an
god, that's gonna be a
animal,
whole other
little
subject
hand-
for Aaron in a second. Aaron's like,
No.
well, I can have a dead arm. Hmm.
This is getting
I mean,
weird.
it can move.
This isn't about me.
This is
It
getting
was just
weird.
a question.
This is like the stranger arm thing, like when it's all like numb and something. What the hell are you guys going with?
Where are you going with it, sir?
Yeah.
The numb is he wants to take his numb hand.
But you know what I'm saying? Like if the arm's cut off,
Uh-huh.
the soul is part of the soul still in that arm then.
Right.
Right? 'Cause- okay.
It's an undead arm. It still decays. Can it move? Yes.
Yeah,
Can
but
you control it? Probably not.
but if
it's
he's
not
not
really
on,
connected to your-
if he's not undead
That
before,
sucks.
What do you mean?
if he's not on if he's not an undead and he get his arm cut, is the arm gonna get undead?
Well,
Well, he has
it
to
can't-
be undead for the
Yes,
arm to
yeah.
stay living.
No.
No, your body can still be alive, but the arm that gets cut off, the flesh dies. So it's kind of it's like still animated, but it's not. You can't really control it. It's just
Yes.
there. You know what I mean? So you can still be alive, and like, let's say you have to amputate a limb for some reason, it's undead. So it still goes through the decay process, even though you're alive. It's like now that it's not attached to you anymore, it's
Yeah.
No silver lining to this. I
No.
can't control
No.
my
So I-
limb.
it's like here you get to see like
Mm-hmm.
you know more of the
that was my
world.
point.
This is
But the
a
arm
world
can't feed.
building issue. What's that?
Even
I think Sim missed a lot at the beginning of this,
arm
though.
cannot feed.
The what?
It doesn't have to feed.
Yeah, but that Odin's saying, it went up. Sorry. Farewell to arm, but the arm can't feed.
Yeah,
Correct.
they
So,
don't
you know, how they are gonna? Why would they try to kill somebody? I guess that's what the question
Well,
is.
it's not as they're not zombies. That's the thing. It's not like it's like an Alzheimer's kind of
They're
effect.
not like the traditional zombies.
Yeah.
It'd be like if you died and woke up and had to go to work tomorrow. It's like your brain is slowly decaying in your skull and you start losing your facilities, but you're still you. You're not craving flesh. You're not mindless horde. You're just you.
Okay,
It's
Laurie,
it's
is
a
the
universe
reason
where matter doesn't die. Pretty
is the
much.
reason that you start losing your memories and stuff? Is it because your soul's gone, or is it because your cells are dying?
Because your brain is decomposing.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. So it's like you don't, and that's the hard part is like your soul, your energy still stays in your body. It never transitions. The death is missing. Death is
Oh, I
like, the
see.
death process
Yeah.
is broken for everything. So it's like there is no rest. There's no release for anything. We're all stuck here together, but we slowly
Mhm.
go crazy as we decompose. So it's like then you get these just populations of people that you either can't reason with or they're forgetful or they're violent because they're not in control anymore. But at what point does that happen? It's like, is it a slow descent? It depends on how that person dies. You know what I mean? Because it's like
Mhm.
if you're stabbed and you bleed out, but your brain is intact, you might be able to function longer than someone who like died of having like a head injury and their brain
Mhm.
is more decomposed or damaged. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a weird place to be. See some of the art here.
We got Coleman, we had Lola. Hey, Lola's here. She's gonna be doing her fur. She's gonna be wearing her furry suit soon.
Cool.
That's good. And 80s is here. Let's see. Horror Radio says, Evil Dead
Evil
rules.
Dead
I
rules.
like it.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of. I mean, I'm a big horror nerd. I'm a sci-fi nerd. You know, you'll see Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy mixed in here. You know what I mean? It's like I kind of mesh everything together. It's like you got Western. It's like, go back to here. You see the eye squints. It's like we got Clint Eastwood. You know what I mean? So we got all these different homage. We got Walking Dead. We got Mad Max in here at times. Fallout. I Am Legend. You got the guy, the last survivor. You know what I mean? Kind of looking for the answer. So it's like, here, this lady on a farm, she's, farming her and her daughter. And it's like, her daughter is so young, wasn't there for the fall of society and has no clue how dangerous it is, and kind of has this innocence about her where she's talking to Jude and doesn't realize, like, should you really be talking to this guy? You know? So her mother's just kind of like, get away and get out of here or whatever. Here's your water and move along, you know? But he has this moment with this little girl. He says, you know, his horse's name is Prince, but then when she's talking to this little girl, he reveals to her that her name is actually Diana Prince. She has a star on her forehead, and he named her for this warrior woman who was the protector of the human race. So you get these little snippets of Jude interacting in a positive way with people, which is so hard in this day, you know, 10 years into the apocalypse, where everybody is an asshole and just out for themselves. But he still has the wherewithal to, like, you know, have this small moment with this girl, you know, has a conversation with his horse. So it's kind of like you get the Witcher and Roach feel here, where it's like he's talking to her about, should we go down this road because it's a dead bear? You know, he's like, I got you something special. It's your happy early birthday. I got you a pair of shoes. So it's like something that you would give to your girl or your, you know, family member. So they have this relationship, and it also shows that they've done this before. So they have experience in this matter. So here's this zombie hand.
Oh, nice.
Crazy. I love the perspective of this. You know what I mean? In this bottom right panel, where he pulls this glass out and it just goes flying into your face. You know, and he risks
it gives it energy. Yeah.
Risks his life to catch this stupid thing.
He really wants that glass.
He does. Well, it's something you'll learn about Jude. He's kind of stuck in the old world. It's like he doesn't want to, I don't know, he's kind of a scavenger. Anything that reminds him of the way it used to be, that's still intact, he wants that. You know what I mean? He wants to have a piece of that. So here he is like, that was dumb, puts it away. Here's this bear. Look at that. Goddamn, that bear is across the entire road, so good luck.
It's the one time it's not hibernating.
It's the West. It's too hot to hibernate. Anyway, look, poor horse trips. Out comes the glass. Crashes to 100 smithereens, and then there we go. So it's going to be a bad day.
Oh. Oof. Poor guy.
Yeah.
We only knew him for a little while.
I didn't go full Game of Thrones and kill Jude, but I killed somebody else, so just say
Do we discuss what was the main rations? Do we discuss that? I know we talked about you said like you can't just eat a chicken nugget because it's alive. So what is It'd be kind of hard to swallow, right? It'd be like moving around.
Yeah.
Why not? Like they do that with, what was it, the squid or whatever?
Yeah, but it eventually dies though, right?
Huh?
But the squid eventually will die in your stomach.
Yeah, that one. I mean, in the real world, yeah, but eventually, it's like, I mean, you would digest it, but still, it's like, does it live in your poop?
Yeah.
Lives on as excrement.
Now we got walking shit demons running around. Like,
there you go. Put it all together. We'll see what happens.
Oh God, the sewers. And just a big poop elemental just comes up out of the water.
I said if we just see like if like people's like adapted to eating more vegetarian stuff or like berries when they harvest stuff, or if they're still just eating chickens and being like, we don't care if it's still.
I mean,
taking
probably
10 times
smaller
longer to kill
animals
these damn
they
things.
still would, in my opinion. I don't know.
We need that protein.
Moving, I don't know, but it's like you probably would want a lot of people to go vegetarian, I would think. But even then, it would be difficult if you have to protect your crop 24/7 from pests. It's like create Soylent Green. I mean, that's an option. There's one thing we have an excess of, and it's people.
Let's see.
No comment.
Here.
I don't know if you want to switch to, if you guys want to see the end of the comic, I'll share it with you. That's in the second PowerPoint, or if you want to switch over to the.
I don't know. That might spoil it for people.
It would spoil it. So.
I don't want to do that.
All right.
Switch
to the three PO. Yeah. So here's obviously this is the cover. This is the A cover of number 2. So you got good old Jude stomping someone into smithereens at the bottom, and it's just, represents like the hard path that he has to take. And then if you look in the background, we got a new character kind of meshed in with the bear, but we haven't really introduced this guy yet, so you have to read the comic to find out who and what he is.
He's a druid.
He's a druid? Turns into a bear owl? No. He's not a bear owl. And then this is the B cover done by David Rodriguez, who did the zombie variant cover from the last one. So this one, that's the same guy.
Oh, okay.
So he does fabulous, detailed zombie work. Beautiful. And if you look at his hands, it spells out Dead West, which is an homage to the original working title of my comic. I had it labeled as Dead West, but then when you find out that there's like a band and like there's like, I think there's 2 bands named Dead West and then like an ongoing book series. So it's like, it's like you don't want to compete with already existing properties, and it's like, and then they have the social media names and everything, so it's like you had to find a new name.
Yeah, I feel like there was a video game called that too.
Dead West. There, I'm not sure. There might be
Hard West or something, or weird. I don't know. But
maybe you're remembering that Red Dead Revolver with the zombie mode. Red Dead Redemption with the.
Oh no! I played that. That was fun.
With the zombie mode. I think it was one of the greatest things they did.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, want another game?
Yes, please. One of the things we're going to be introducing in our next comic is sign language, but Jude will sign, but he loves to shit talk. So you'll see probably 100% swear words in sign language, which will be fun. Here is the riddle, the back page, the back cover of issue number 2. So have fun solving that, peeps. And then, of course, here's one of the first pages of the Choose Your Own Adventure. So just things to look forward to, you know?
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I got to say, I made some really spectacular deaths in there. So if you want to, curiosity will kill the cat in this one. Let me just say. If it's something really enticing, if it's something that's really enticing, like, should I open the box?
Yeah, I'd be dead. Probably.
We don't want to know what's in the box.
But the nice thing is, it's a choose your own adventure book. You just go back to the beginning and you do it again.
Yeah, you learn that lesson.
Apparently, Dunkelziffer says you keep forgetting the Magnificent Seven when mentioning Western classics, Laurie.
No, yes, it's there. In fact, the very beginning, it's like if you watch the Magnificent Seven, that's kind of how I envision this playing in my head from the beginning. So it's like the very opening of that movie where you get the cowboy riding through all the different terrains, trying to get to where he's going while the credits are running. That's what plays in my head when my comic book starts. So I get you. So I love when people see all these connections that maybe I just haven't mentioned in the interview, but they're there. So it's there, my friend. It's there.
Let me see here.
Do you want to play the commercial?
Oh, yeah.
Lots of people like those. That's why they're there. Sorry. Didn't mean to take you off.
What was that? Oh, the Funkos.
Yeah. So Ion is
No.
like, no Funkos. And I'm like, sorry,
He'll
my
be
friend,
fine.
people
He'll be
want
fine.
them. So
He's had to listen to Sim go on and on and on about the Snyder Cut for ages now, so he can handle a little Funko Pop. He says, "Laurie, you convinced my friend. Very nice.
How can you compare the Snyder Cut with Funko Pops? What the fudge?
Very easily."
Let's not go there.
How the hell does your mind work? God damn it.
No, he's just saying. Never mind. Moving on. So I don't know if you saw some of the footage from the conspiracy theory video. I have like those 3 that I gave you a little snippet. So that's kind of what it's going to look like. Is I don't know. Do you guys remember watching Boondock Saints
Oh yeah.
back in the day? And you remember in the credits, while the credits were rolling, they had that meta moment where they were interviewing just random people, like, what do you think? Are the Saints good or bad? And everybody got to chime in, whether it's like, yeah, they're vigilantes, they shouldn't be doing that, or heck yeah, sign me up, that's what I want to do, you know. So that's kind of the feeling that we're going for, is to just get people to give opinions. And because I'm not giving anybody a script, it has the potential of really just going off the rails, which I look forward to. So fun times.
And I'm sorry. I think you already said, but when did you say you was launching the next Kickstarter?
The goal is September 30th. But we have a few moving parts left. So as long as I can get all of our ducks in a row, because I'm kind of managing a few different things, that it will be September 30th. If not September 30th, then the following week, October 7th. So, but the best thing to do, people, is click on that pre-launch button. So that way it's like, if we get off of this interview and you don't see me again, and if we go live on September 30th, we got all those exclusives that I don't want you to miss out on. So if you hit that pre-launch, doesn't matter when I push the button, you'll get a notification.
And you can go back and you can read the original issue, the first issue, for free.
Absolutely. I will do a reprint. We're going to be adding new stuff. I'm going to barcode them. All that fun stuff. So, you know, if we can do, I would love to just get everything done in color. We're pushing towards that, you know, go back and recolor everything. Cause it's like, there's some blood pools at the end. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's some blood pools, and those will just hit so much harder if you can see them in color.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's a pretty emotional moment what happens, but it's like, to really get the feeling behind it, it's like to just see it in color. It'll be amazing. So I look forward to that.
Yeah, that would be, it would be nice to do the full color.
Yeah. And then I think we're planning on first volume will be after number 5, because it's 13 issues. So it'll be like first 5 in volume 1, and then the next 4 volume 2, and the last 4 in volume 3. And that'll be their whole first arc. So you'll be able to get it in volumes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I look forward to that.
Let's see. What was I going to say?
What were you going to say?
I don't remember. Yeah, I didn't know about the whole. When I first seen it, I thought it was just the typical like zombie thing. I didn't know you had like a little twist there with how the zombies are and stuff.
I know. That's why I'm like, I need to get out there and talk about it.
Because it does.
Well, it feels like it might go into eventually into speculating, but with maybe a little bit of a religious aspect, since we got the Pale Rider thing going on, that maybe the angels and demons and stuff look like it might. And then you had the cover with it split with an angel and a death demon that maybe.
Or it's like you'll have to read.
There's gonna be
find out.
Oh, yep. She's up to something, because there's no passing over to the afterlife, so she's up to something eventually with that.
Yeah. There's gotta be a religious aspect that's going to take part in there, it seems like.
So you're thinking that someday we could have a supernatural aspect to this Western apocalypse? How is it?
But then you got to go, well, which religion? There's all kinds of religions that do.
Well, you already put the Pale Rider thing in there.
We'll have to wait and see. Yay! It goes off the rails pretty quick, let me just say. Good times.
Oh my! What happened, Aaron? Oh,
figure all that shit out. It's like, but I like how I bet there's a Funko Pop from the Snyder.
That's right. Puts hot dog.
What?
He's just trying to get it, Sam.
It's one of his. It's one of his. I would say I was gonna say favorite to spite him, but one of the scenes that he hates the most is in the Snyder Cut when Flash walks out of the window to save the girl from the crashing car, and he grabs one of the sausages and puts it in his pocket at the same time.
I forgot about that moment, but yes, it plays in my head now. Thank you.
It's not one of the best moments.
Oh, Lord.
Fun times.
How you doing this morning, Aaron?
I'm doing all right.
Good. Good. When's you gonna be doing another comic?
We're doing it right now, me and Simon.
Yeah. Well, when am I getting it?
When Simon's done drawing it.
In 3 to 4 months.
That's actually not too bad.
And it's called Hell Zone, and it's going to be a one-shot 48-page.
How many pages?
48. Between 42 to 48. Yep.
How long, Sam?
3 to 4 months.
God, what? You're being lazy. Look at
Why?
You.
I'm working on Tales of the Adverse 2 at the same time. Plus, there's another book I'm working on. And Blood Hunt, the sequel and the crossover with Doc Salem.
I can't wait for a second issue of that.
Vampires badass again.
I should have asked Preston when I saw him how far along he is with that.
With
Do you know? The second issue?
I cannot tell you how far along he is, because as far as I know, he was finishing off another project. And he couldn't wait. He couldn't wait to get back on it. I know he was starting to work on layouts, but I don't know anymore, because I do want the sequel to Doc Salem. Yeah. And we're doing a crossover with Bloodhound, and trust me, it's going to be freaking cool. And it's written by Brian.
Oh, that's cool.
And so you're going to see them fighting like monsters from Lovecraft.
Yeah, Brian's a really good writer, because I'm not the biggest fan of like monkey books. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm not big. I've never been a big
monkey book.
But I get what he means. Like, it's not my cup of tea. I bought it because my girl went like, "Oh, that looks freaking cool." She said like, "Oh," I'm like, "Okay, so I'll grab one, right?" And Brian sent me the entire.
He's an ape.
Brian sent me the entire collection, and I found myself surprised, like really enjoying that freaking monkey book.
Yeah,
like you're saying, like Monkey Farwas book. It's freaking
one of those
awesome.
things. Like when I was growing up, is like with King Kong or Godzilla. I'm always like a Godzilla guy. I never really, I never cared for Planet of Apes and stuff like that. But I think his Western.
What's the name of that movie with Clint Eastwood? Any Which Way? Is that it?
What is it?
Any Which Way or something like that? The one with the freaking orangutan in there.
I don't know.
Like he has that freaking movie where he has that freaking monkey with him all the freaking time that he shoots and he pretends to be dead. He plays dead. Anyways, it's kind of like you come to me and you say, "Hey, I made a story about that monkey," and I'm like, I don't know, but no, it's really freaking good. He's a great writer.
Yeah.
Any Which Way But Loose was a great movie.
There you go. Any Which Way But Loose. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, Past Manager Dan's with us and showed you some love. Oh, thank you, sir. Follow Sim, be up to date on Health Zone. Sim, I have to hold Dunkles if I down right now. I got Blood Hunt 2 again. No, not right now. Gee.
Yeah, I started working on the story, and I'm also working on that 20-page extra how can I say, year one. That's gonna be with the Blood Hunt #1 when I'm gonna re-release it in color. Because I'm gonna be doing a full colored edition of that Blood Hunt to see all that nice little blood everywhere. Good thing I don't have to pay extra for digital red.
I went. Hey, what's today? What is today? Today's Monday. So is it Saturday? Yeah, I went on Saturday. There's a comic shop about half hour, 45 minutes away, and he was closing down for like 4 or 5 months. I think he said he was opening in January or something, and so he said he was closing down. Oh, whoa. Hold up. Never mind. Sorry, Laurie. I just seen your message.
Oh, I was trying to be in it. I didn't even finish typing. I'm smoking some ribs because it's Labor Day.
Oh, okay.
So
That's true, yeah.
I have someone
Yeah.
telling me what temperature at. Once they get to 180, I have to pull them and wrap them and then stick them back on for.
Don't worry, Chris just doesn't. He goes like 2 hours, and then the guests are kind of like, yeah, Chris, man, you know,
Well,
the sun's
if
going
you guys wanna
down,
keep
and
talking, that's
you know,
cool.
the
I
kids
love
got to
hanging
get
out
on the
and just talking
bus,
nerd
and
stuff.
the dishes
But
are
I might have
piled
to
up over
jump
here,
out just
man.
to take care of the ribs and then I can come right back.
Well, that's one of the things you used to tell the people before we go on live. It's like we're going live after an hour, or you want to leave, you can just leave. Like we'll keep on going the stream with the people in the chat. It doesn't, yeah.
But I gotta wrap the ribs. Once they get to 180,
Yeah,
they
ribs
gotta
sound amazing.
rewrap.
Let's say we are aware that people have lives, so we always said like you can come in for like 30 minutes, an hour, at least as we cover your book, and after that we're just because
I'm
we
having
like to have
fun.
fun with the chat. Yeah, that's the thing. Is
Yeah.
that
You
the
guys
show's
have-
called
you
roast because
guys
we
have
like
a
to
great
roast each
chat
other and
on
the
this
chat.
show. Like I've been on
Yeah.
shows where there's nobody in the chat or they don't interact and they don't ask questions. Like when you can get this kind of interaction,
Yeah.
that's great. And I just want to hang out and talk to people and see what they say. And I mean, like I've had people bring up all sorts of great Western movies and like
I mean, I have to
we've got
admit,
good stuff going on.
it's what keeps me motivated into doing these
Yeah.
streams every Monday and Friday because I like this interaction with everybody and in the chat. It's like, yeah, it's like a respectful roast. You know what I mean? Like we all roast
Fun.
each other and we all know it's for fun.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, me and Shane, we pick at each other, but we're friends.
Right.
There's no
Well,
hard
and I
feelings after.
You can dish it on me too. I'm okay with that. I'm a big girl. I've been knife fighting for 25 years. So
Oh, we do that to the people, but we start by ourselves to put the guests in comfortable. Then after that, we start picking at the.
Follow our guest with ribs.
we get you comfortable.
So I am. You crack me
So
up.
you're getting some baby back ribs ready?
Yeah, I'm doing a 3-2-1 smoke.
Oh,
So it's 3 hours on smoke and then 2 hours wrapped. And I put in it's like a water and apple cider vinegar, and you put like some kind of fat of your choice. I usually do like mayo.
Do you have
But
your
it's
own
just on
mix
the
of
ribs
do you have
on the
your own?
backside, and you wrap it for 2 hours, and then you do the last hour back. So that in the last hour is usually when if you put sauce, you sauce them up, and then you raise the temperature a little bit. You let it.
Do you
get
make your
temperature.
own mix sauce mix?
You know,
or
I like my ribs
It's
naked.
pre-bought. Naked.
I like them naked. So I usually have the sauce on the side, and everybody can add their own sauce later. But I'm doing just like a traditional.
You don't marinate it.
No, I put rub on it. Oh
Mhm.
God, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Yes,
no, that's
I
what I
put
mean.
it on so it's
You make your own,
absolutely
or-
naked. No, I
Okay,
on
that's what I
one
mean.
rack I did salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, and the other one I did it's a meat church blend. I think it's called the Holy Gospel, Holy
Mhm.
Cow. I think it's Holy Cow. It's the Gospel or Holy Cow. I forget. It's Texas thing. There's this whole line of stuff called Meat Church. It's hilarious. They have cows on it.
Meat church.
It's called Meat Church. Yeah. You think I'm joking? It's hilarious.
It sounds like a cool restaurant. I drove by.
It's not even a
Like,
restaurant. It's just like you can get all your different rubs. They just
First
have
time I
like
stopped
different
by-
rubs and
First time I stopped by Five Guys, I thought I looked at it. This is a meat church. You know, it's
it is. I mean, it is. But I mean, yeah, there's an actual company called Meat Church. It's so
Yeah.
funny. So yeah, I did Meat Church on the other rack, and so they're both smoking right now. But they're at like 174. So when they get to 180, I wrap them, and then they usually get up to 200, and then we do a slow rest. So I wrap them again, and I put it in a cooler with some towels on it, and then let it
Mhm.
rest for like half an hour to an hour, depending on when they come up to temperature.
so
And
it's
then
all
that's
melted
when they
and
like
all
they just fall off the bone, so tender, delicious. I know what I'm talking about. I've done some research on barbecues. So good times.
I'm lucky I can like read the directions of the back of a microwave thing.
That's
I'm
what I
one
was
of those
gonna
guys who have to like look at it twice. I'm like, did it say 2 minutes?
I was looking at those
5
guys
minutes.
and I'm like, okay, now it's obvious that those guys don't know how to cook.
It's
I'm
okay
looking-
though.
I'm
I mean,
looking at it
like,
on
even when you
Pop-Tarts.
think you know what
I'm like, should
you're
I set
doing,
it on
it's like
4?
when the wind
5?
blows too hard, it's like all of a sudden everything has gone to shit. So like
But
your
my
cooker
grandpa-
does different stuff when it's like it's windy or it's raining or you know what I mean. So it's like after we're done with the interview, I'm putting my bathing suit on. I'm gonna swim in the pool and barbecue and drink beer. That's my plans for the rest of today.
And Shane, you know what my grandpa used to say?
What's that?
What's that, Sam?
Not knowing how to cook for a man is like not knowing how to F.
Gotta know how to cook.
Yeah, you have to know how to cook, dude.
Uh,
If you can't make yourself some,
why do I have to know how to cook?
Not you, me.
Oh,
The quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach. We all know this.
yeah.
So it's I barbecue, I bake, I do all sorts of stuff.
Like,
Yeah.
I like baking with the girls.
One of the posts I have on my Instagram is like, I was filming the welcome video for our Kickstarter. So what you guys saw was the commercial for our comic. So like people can play that, but I did a whole second part where I talked to the Kickstarter people, right? And of course, bears are a thing in my world. I love the undead bear. So I did a scene where I was mauled by an undead bear. So I'm all bloody and nasty and hilarious, right? So then I'm baking bread that day too. So I'm just covered in gore and I'm taking selfies of myself baking bread. Oh, you know what? And speaking of bathing suits, Pale Rider, I have a I have a stretch goal where I will get out the machete and put on a red dress and chop watermelons for you guys if we get
Oh no.
to that dollar amount.
Look at Chris.
Oh, no.
What? You don't want to see me chop watermelons dressed as a prom queen?
There's a red dress thing with Chris, like a
Yeah,
huge red dress
if you
thing.
put a fake beard on for 5 minutes while you do so, yes.
I'll do that too. Why not? I mean, like,
Oh,
it's just
man.
really funny. We're not gonna get there. I mean, like, there's no way. But
Well,
at the
Pale
end,
Rider's gonna make sure you do now.
it's $12,000.
Wait,
So if you
it's like
can
Pale
get
Rider's
hey man, if you can get me to $12,000 on my Kickstarter, I will chop watermelons in a bathing suit or a red dress.
Well, you just
Probably
gave Pale Rider a
heels. I'll dress up
goal.
like I'm going out fancy, and I'll just chop watermelons with machetes because that's what I do. I'm
You
gonna be
seriously might get to 12.
what?
You might get to 12.
Yeah, 12's
No.
reachable.
12
Amen,
is doable.
I mean, we
Yeah,
did
certainly
52
possible.
last time. So I'm not saying
If
it's
you
not
can go.
possible because it is. Everything is possible. But am I expecting to get there? Maybe not. But that's all right. I mean, if we get there and well, let's do it. I'll put on the red dress and the heels and I'll let you guys pick which machete because I have 3. So you guys can vote on which machete cuts the watermelon and I'll do it live.
Sweet.
Why not?
Oh, Lord.
I've seen
Oh,
crazier
God.
stretch goals out there.
Look at Pale Rider is so excited right now.
Yeah.
If you want, I'll put on them. That would be so funny. Can you imagine this beautiful red dress and hair's all done in a goatee?
And a fake beard. Yep.
People are gonna be like, I don't know what to feel about this.
And then you need to do the shot where we see you from the back. You know, we don't see your face, and then you turn around with a wink with the beard.
And just wink at the camera like,
And if you have Mexican friends, that would be funny to be there, and they go, "Ay, ay, ay."
I do have Mexican friends. But that's okay. I don't know why they would be there, but sure.
It's a joke because that's the red dress story.
Oh.
When Chris was wearing a red dress at work as a challenge, there was 3 Mexican guys that were following him because they enjoyed it a bit too much. That was the joke.
I was like, Chris, you can put your hat up. I promise we aren't judging. Because he was like this. Oh,
That's why I added them the 3 Mexicans.
You know what's funny? All of my artists are Hispanic, which it wasn't intentional. It's just they all are. I think Marco is Puerto Rican. Let's see. David Rodriguez is Hispanic. I think he is Mexican. And then Jose.
Mi hermano está Mexican. Mexicano.
I'm half.
I'm just Canadian.
You're Canadian.
Same as, no, you're not. You're French
My bro's from Mexico.
Yeah. I have family in there too.
Puerto
so.
Rican.
Yeah, that's probably why everybody thinks I'm Puerto Rican because I speak French, English, and some Spanish,
Yeah,
which is like two language and a half more than they do.
Me and
Well,
Laurie are
I gotta go
Italian.
take
What
care
a
of some
shame.
ribs. Do you guys mind? I'm just gonna
No.
mute and stop my camera. I'm gonna go take care of business, and then I can jump back on.
All right.
So I'll be back.
Yep.
Shane, what nationality are you?
German. Come from Helfenstein and Metz. Helfenstein's definitely German.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I come from Viking lineage, so.
Oh man, when is this? 10 a. Gosh dang it! It's already started. I missed it.
What?
There was an auction today.
Oh, you missed an auction.
Yes, they had a Civil War flintlock, and it still had its bayonet too.
Oh.
Shit, that would have been cool to go to. Instead, I'm here with you guys.
With you guys.
Good thing the guest left just before he said that. That would be
I
bad.
know, right?
Now I'm stuck here with the guest.
He's like,
Hopefully she's
could've been
watching
doing
on her
something
phone and she's
worthwhile.
gonna come back and go, say what?
I could have had some meaning to my life, but instead,
Like you needed to add like another gun to that like 2,500 collection that he has.
It's a crossbow too. Ooh, well,
It's
that's
what?
good. There was a crossbow too.
Chris, don't you know you need F-15s to fight against the government?
Ooh, look at they got bullets.
He's zoned out right now.
No, but yeah, what I was saying before. So Saturday I went to that comic shop because he's like closing down for like 4 or 5 months. So he was doing like a sale to try and get rid of some,
Closing out for 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, apparently he said he's not opening up till like January or something. Like some sort of. He said it wasn't because of finances or anything. Said it was just he had some like big opportunity that he's going to take on, I guess. But he didn't explain what it was. But so I went down there with Bridget, with the old lady, and we and my brother went too and stuff with his lady. And went down there. It was there was a lot of people. It seemed so. I was like, so I've never been here. My first time. But I did see you had some sort of sale. What is it? He's like, oh yeah, everything's on sale today. So I was like, oh okay. So I just started grabbing things. I was like, oh okay. Yeah. Adding a pile. Bridget grabbed some stuff, and then so I ended up with like a big old sack. I was like, there you go. He's like, oh okay. He's like, oh geez. He's like, do you remember where all this is from? I was like, no. You said all of it was on sale. He's like, oh, okay. So I asked him about some other comics. He said, okay, yeah, you do that. I'm going to start looking through these, I guess, so he could figure out like the pricing and stuff like that. And because a lot of them didn't have a price on them.
That's like the worst because now you don't know if they're just going to lie to you. Like,
Yeah.
oh, he's actually a serious buyer. I mean, yeah, there was a sale, but
Right.
these
Like,
books, they not
like, yeah, he didn't really, yeah. So it's like, well, so what am I going to do? But he got like halfway through. He's like, oh, I'm not going through all this. I'm not going through all this. Just, how about $60? Like, oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And then it added 3 more. He's like, well, we'll do 75 because he added like 3 more and they were a little bit, they actually had prices on them. So he's like, well, how about 75?
It's sad because I was that's why I was asking because it's weird because I've seen a lot of freaking comic book shop right now that do sales and then they close. Like they're
I mean, yeah, he said it wasn't because of like financials or anything. He said it was just like he had some real big opportunity. But yeah, he did like 75, and we ended up with a bunch.
Holy smokes!
What the hell?
That's what I got for me.
The fact that they didn't even fall over.
Yeah, that's not counting like the other like 6 graphic novels and like a bunch of floppies that Bridget got. Yeah, so we made out like bandits because like the sad part was he got like halfway through, right, and he hit the part where because he asked me if there was any from the back. Are they all from this back set of long boxes? And I guess that was his like fodder amount, the cheap stuff. So he hit that. He was going through, and he's like, "Okay, I'm not going through them." Well, the bottom part was like where a lot of the pricier stuff was, because like, so we made out really good because like just Bridget's she grabbed one of the first things she grabbed was these like X-Men versus Avengers, but they were babies. So it was like little Avengers.
Oh, the
X babies.
Yeah, it was like Avengers versus X-Men, but they were like little babies, and it had like I guess like all the issues or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like $15 alone. He had a price on it. So I mean, once just from the prices he had, it was like boom. I was easily over just looking at the we call it MSRP or whatever for the graphic novels. I'm like over $100 and some dollars, like over like $100-$200 just in those, and then the floppies and stuff. Yeah, and like a lot of these I got from other long boxes because he had boxes everywhere, just scattered all over the place. And I think the ones that I originally started getting from was boxes that he didn't I guess sort yet, maybe because they didn't have a price, or it seemed like there was no real rhyme or reason to them. So I think those were ones he just hadn't really sorted out or got a price on yet.
And I don't know what you mean. So, did you ever see Blood Hunt on sale in the shop before it closed? Just curious. What do you mean before it closed? Before the shop closed or the campaign closed?
Yeah,
I don't get what's the point of your question.
I got a lot of shit.
Wait, who asked the question? What was it?
Maybe if it closed because it had Blood Hunt. Like that's what I was trying to figure out. What's the point? Trying to get the.
I don't know.
Yeah, you get my drift. It's like I read it.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know which way he's trying to go. Is it like a pun? It's an actual question. Like you know what I mean? Did I get it and sell in the store before? You know what I mean? Or did?
I think he's trying to tease you. I just don't understand it.
Before the shop.
Before the shop. No. I did get it in some. I did get Blood Hunt in some stores. But those stores did not shut down because Blood Hunt is so good.
Wow.
I'm kidding. I'm not that vain.
Right? I've already read a couple. Like, gosh, I remember this Avengers. I have this like so many copies of this Avengers, and I always
yeah, I have it too. That's a George Perez, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I've got a ton here. Maybe I'll do a stream on like Wednesday going over this stuff because I got a bunch of them. But I got a book from Mobius.
What?
Here? Yeah, it's like Mobius is something or other, and it was a certain like issue, some random issue of it. I got a bunch of Epic Comics books.
Now you're talking about my type of shit.
This one looked pretty cool. Car Warriors.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Looks like Schwarzenegger. Quickly.
It had like some like.
I was gonna say that too. It's
Me
like
too, right?
Yep.
But I'll have to do this on Wednesday.
Welcome back, Laurie. Even though nobody acknowledged you, welcome back.
I was like, what did I miss? Did you guys all talk about me while I was gone?
As soon as you left, Chris was like, "Well, I wish I went to this auction." instead."
Well, I'm here with you guys, and I'm like, "Hey, you're lucky she's not listening to you in, because I think she'd be calling you out on your shit when you come back."
I could have been at an auction right now.
I could have been buying a flintlock
what kind
gun.
Of auction? What are you getting?
It was down in Moorfield. They got an auction. It's Labor Day.
He's into
auction.
World War I weapons, like guns and rifles and stuff. I like.
It was a Civil War musket with bayonet, and then it's got a bunch of other random stuff too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, do you have money to buy that stuff? Because I'm sure that's not cheap, dude.
Well, I've got a couple here at the house.
Oh, I'm sure.
A couple.
Yeah.
You got artillery.
Oh, and so the funny thing about when I left some Blood Hunt at the shop, I stopped by and they're like, I don't think those books are gonna sell for $25. I'm like, do you mind trying? Like, I'll leave you a few, and I'll come back like I don't know 2 weeks and see if you have some. And they sold out. So
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I always wonder. It's like we took some of our comics to this. That's nice.
What is? Yeah,
Onyx
Mobius.
Overlord.
I've never seen that before.
Garage. Onyx Overlord Part 1 of 4, Book 1.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Is it Mobius inside, or is this somebody?
Airtight Garage.
Oh yeah, okay, I know why Airtight Garage is. Yep. Oh dude, I've been looking for that shit for a long time.
Yeah, the Onyx Overlord Log 1 Mobius story, and then it says from the sketchbook of Mobius story and art. So yeah, it's all Mobius stuff.
I went to Titan Comics. I got myself
Lucky SOB.
Something is killing.
Not
me.
you, Laurie. I'm answering Chris.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you wouldn't call me an SOB, but I never know. And then
I've heard about that. Something is killing the children.
it's pretty
Please.
good. It's pretty good. And then we picked up some hard copies of Twig. Twig is amazing. I'm a Kyle Strahm fan. He's amazing. Like if you haven't read Spread, that's great. A huge inspiration of mine. It's a post-apocalyptic world where a virus starts. It's like a parasitic virus that it spreads from touch. And his main character's name is No. And that's all he says is the word no. Like he doesn't communicate except to say no. And he looks very much like Wolverine. Walks around with a hatchet. It's like I think it takes place in Canada actually. And finds a newborn baby pretty much in this crazy world, and then shit hits the fan from there. But such a good series. If you haven't read it, it's called Spread.
Sounds like a different version of Lone Wolf and Cub.
I'm not familiar with that one, but I mean, like
You never read Lone Wolf and Cub?
No.
Oh, okay.
But it's probably maybe it's inspired. You know what I mean? Inspired him, but like.
But it's a bit similar to it's what inspired Ronin. Did you ever read Ronin by Frank Miller?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the inspiration was Lone Wolf and Cub because Frank Miller did the covers for Lone Wolf and Cub for ages. Like he did all the covers for Dark Horse.
Gotta love Frank Miller. Anything Frank Miller.
You know he's doing a sequel to Ronin, right?
No.
It's a female protagonist, I think, in that one.
Okay.
She has a baby like on the cover, and it's coming out soon. Like they released an Ashcan a week or two ago. They're doing a sequel to Sin City because he started his own imprint, right? You know, he has his own publishing house.
Oh yeah,
So he's doing a sequel. He has Manura, the French artist, drawing it, and he is doing a prequel to Sin City where he's doing a Western Sin City. He's doing the Far West.
And I want it.
And I want it.
It's like, take my money. Here you go.
Yeah. Pretty goddamn much. Like I don't know the other books that the other ones are doing. I want those 3 ones.
I wanted those. It was like Berserker I wanted, and then that new one with Wesley that's coming out.
Oh, the one with
Berserker.
The one with
Keanu.
Keanu. Yeah, I have it here. Another one that I thought was good that you should check out is Nocturna.
Nocturna?
Yeah, by Scott what's his name? Snyder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Philip Tan. They crowdfunded it like a while back, and you can get it from Image. It's called Nocturna. It's pretty good.
If it's Image, I'll get it. Absolutely, because we have a subscription there. But like, Berserker is so fucking funny. They just like I don't know how many variant covers they did with like a variant of sad Keanu. There's sad Keanu's everywhere in this book. It's so funny.
I started reading the first one, but I kind of got out of it a little bit because it reminded me a lot of Eternal Warrior, except cannibal.
Yeah,
it's the same shit. So I'm like, I'm gonna, and when you get to that point, you kind of get. I need to take a step back and reread it with a fresh mind and a few because it's kind of like right now all I'm thinking about is it's so insane. It's so Eternal Warrior.
You know what though? I think when they wrote it, I mean they kickstarted it, and I think it funded an anime or an animated version of this, right?
Did it?
They did. They funded an whatever.
I know they're supposed to be making a movie out of it. Like it's always been part of the deal that they're supposed to be making a movie with Netflix or something.
Yes. Right, but that's what paid for it, pretty much. Like I think the comic book was done, and they kickstarted like selling copies so that way they could fund the animation.
Yeah, but and the comics was coming out in the shop before the backers had the book.
Yes.
And when all the floppies were out, they were releasing the books to the backers.
Right.
That's what they did, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you are correct. But it's like when you read it, that was the only quirk that it had. It's like you can tell there's 2 people having a conversation because the word bubbles are 2 different colors, but it doesn't like the conversation that they're having isn't related to the pictures that they're showing. So they're showing you like a flashback of what Keanu did, but they're talking in the present. And if you don't know who's talking until you get like 2 chapters in.
That's about when I stopped. Yeah, that's what they were. Yeah.
Because it was hard to follow. It's like you almost have to read it a few times once you figure out who's talking. But it's like you could lose readers that way.
Because that's when I got to the point where it went from it reminds me of that book, and then you get to a point where you're like it doesn't make sense. So it gave me a feeling of like they just try to mix match and shit, and they're fucking it up like it's not working.
Right, but that's the thing is if it was.
So you're telling me I should keep reading? It gets better.
What I'm telling you is it's in the wrong medium.
Okay.
This is nice. It's visually pleasing, but the story was meant to be.
So it's suffering from the fact that it's supposed to be on screen.
It's supposed to be on screen. I think it will make much more sense once it's on screen.
Pitt.
Aaron.
That's Pitt.
Hello.
That's Pitt number 1, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yep.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I just got that. Actually, I think I have it already at home, but I bought it anyways.
Yeah.
And I bought Spawn 3 through 8, and I bought this Wolverine, Andy Kubert Wolverine.
That was like him and Sylvester was my best freaking Wolverine years. Adam Kubert is dead.
This was Andy, I think.
Yeah, Andy Kubert. No, it's Adam. Adam.
Is it Adam?
Andy was doing X-Men. Andy has the more squarish, like I don't like his style as much. While Adam has the more roundish, organic style, and I like it a lot.
Here, let me see. I got this What If too.
Oh.
Which one?
This is What If Wolverine fought Weapon X.
Put it in front of your face.
Oh, that's
It's not mean. It's just we see better.
There you go.
Because otherwise the camera tries to focus.
Yeah,
on
I was
your face.
trying. Everything's reversed on my camera, so I'm trying to figure it out. But yeah, I never even knew this existed. I just saw it at the shop.
Oh, East to West.
I love this series.
Yeah, that's pretty goddamn good. I have the first 3 trades. Yeah.
So this is volume 2. Volume 1 was kind of like my Bible because I was lettering. I letter.
That's the 4 Horsemen, right? If I'm not mistaken.
It is.
And then I don't want to get into it.
Path of the Pale Rider, 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, there's
book is it? What comic is it?
East
to West. It's like a sci-fi western. It's pretty goddamn good.
Like, I'll just give you the premise from when you open the first issue. It's like the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse wake up. Well, there's the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, right? But only 3 of them wake up together. 1 is missing. And there's a reason why he's missing, but it's like the apocalypse is supposed to move forward, but now the 4 Horsemen are fighting amongst themselves for a good reason. So it's really interesting just because like the world building is awesome, where it's like it would be like at the future if the how do I want to say this? It's like when the Civil War happened, if the futures happened from that point. You know what I mean? So we're in the future where technology is advanced, but you have like the North, you have the Confederacy, you have the free land, which is like the freed slaves have their own land.
Yeah,
New Orleans.
If I remember, you had Death riding a cyborg horse. Enough said.
I want to say all the good stuff. You're like,
it's one of the first visual you get in it, right?
Like, it's amazing. It's like you have the
that's cool.
The 1,000 what do you want to call it? The 1,000 nation of. It's like the indigenous people all have their own colony, and then like California is the People's Republic of China. So it's like you have all these different factions, and they all play into each other. You have these judges. They're like the bounty hunters from Texas, because Texas is its own place. Yep. You have like mysticism. Like this is a person who can turn into a crow. I'm trying to do it with the camera. She's amazing. She can turn into a flock of crows, and he can turn into wolves. This is the horse that you're talking about. This is a cyborg horse. This is a cyborg dog. It's amazing. This world is so well built. It has
it's
prophecies, and
it's one of the really good series that came out at Image for a while. Like there's that 7 to Eternity, which is pretty goddamn good. And another one that I liked a lot is Black Science. If you don't know Black Science, check it out. It's fucking awesome.
But that one, like, I haven't read in a while. They took a hiatus, didn't they?
Yeah, no, I need to catch up to. I think they have a few trades that came out after. I need to catch up.
Yeah, I
I
was
think
like, I
I'm
need
up
to
to
catch up
number
on
7
that.
or 8.
They restarted Saga, so I need to start reading Saga again.
I didn't really like. I enjoyed it. I didn't get much into it, but I bought the entire collection. I gave it to my girls. They loved
Saga?
the freak out of it. Yeah.
I mean, towards the end, I was like, I felt like the writers didn't have direction. No, where it's
Yeah,
like
but
they were going somewhere, but
I think most writers, when they get to a long when they're trying to stretch, like let's just say like how as it is, when you're trying to stretch like your stories or something like that, or you're trying to come up with new stuff, there's a moment where you're like, where am I gonna go now? And you feel it in
yeah,
most series when it's serials and stuff like that. Like it's one of the things that floppies, like regular mainstream comic that comes out every month, suffer. How many issues did you end up like they feel like fillers? Like you're like, you probably should
I
not have
hate
came up
that.
with a book for like 5 months and then come back. I mean, it's one of the things that
Well,
I think that the
in high,
mainstream should start doing. Like, don't do Batman every month. Don't force it too much. Like 25 issues every month. Just come up with great stories, take a break, then come back.
well, that or close up shop and write something new.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Like I have a beginning, a middle, and an end planned for Path of the Pale Rider. I don't want it just to go on forever because it's like that. It turns into that Lost where your writers are like, okay, now we have a zoo. Blah, there's a zoo here, and it's like, where did that come from? Why
Like,
do we
it
even care
depends.
about it?
Not everything's made to be serial. Like it's one of the things.
No.
Like the perfect example is like most of my stories are like they have a term. Like there's a beginning, there's an end. I could stretch it out or I could end it, but not
Right.
the Merc is made to be serial. Like it says it in the name. Not the Merc. He's a mercenary. So just the job is a story.
Right.
So there's certain things that you can do like that. But like like I would say, like look at the mainstream. To me, Hulk, Iron Man are not to be made to be they're not the same as to be made every monthly. Like to me it's like you should do like one story then take a break. They're not every character, not every IP is made to be ongoing, you could say.
Right. Or and that's my point. End it and develop something else. I have 2 other stories out there that are good. That it's like once I'm done, Path of Pale Rider, I want to develop these other 2. I have one that's called Black Room, and I have one that's called The Agency. And it's like I have other stuff that I can still develop, but it's like give it the Breaking Bad treatment. Do it right. End it where the fans are happy.
That's kind of thing with X-Files. It took forever for it to
Yes.
end because it's like and Walking Dead. Let's face it, Walking Dead
Yes.
would still keep going if the ratings were high. It's like they just wait until it's just a drought, and they're like, I guess we should end it now.
Right.
They do
At
that
that point, you
everything.
lost the most
They
of
milk it.
your audience. Yeah,
The milk it
Because
that everybody's
It's
annoyed
the
of it.
producers, it's the production company that's like,
yeah.
this needs another season. You got greenlit for another season. It's like, well, I was planning on ending it in season 2. Well, no. You need to write some more. We can drag it out, write a new twist. And it's like,
Sup, Mo?
it wasn't intended for that. But when they're like, well, here's $5 million. How about you feel about it now? It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, you can take that $5 million and help me produce the next show that is just as good as this one. Maybe it's just in a different topic. So like, I have Path of the Pale Rider. I have this other one called The Agency, which I was developing for the production company, and it's a spy and espionage, and then it takes a twist and it does something completely different. So it's like you have other stuff. If you're a writer, you're working on more than one thing. And it's like, let's do the next idea instead of beating this one to death.
So just said like we're on so long today that even Mo made it.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's funny to me because I don't know Mo, but it's
Okay,
just
so
funny
Mo's here. Let's go shop.
Well, Mo's here. It means it's time to wrap it up.
Mhm.
Let's see.
well, people.
Hold on. I see Chris flipping through that card base going like, I have read this book, I'll have you know. I've read Spider-Man 150 a million times. This was one of my first comics I ever had, and they had it at the shop. And I got it for less than $1. So I'm pretty happy. Now I have a reading copy, and then the other one's my collecting copy.
Next on my list is Wonder Duck by Jorge Medina. I got a Kickstarter episode, and it looks fabulous. And I think I got it on Friday, and I just was too busy. I want to sit down and read that bad boy. So, Jorge,
Alright.
you're next.
What's going on? So professional. I am totally professional. I was professional until Sim got here. I don't here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was
Okay.
doing really good.
We'll see how professional it will be for the next shows when I'm not there.
No comment.
Catch up. I can see the PJs Chris is looking at in his eye reflection. What? PJs? What are you talking about? Oh, Lord.
He's rocking the Pokemon ones last week.
What's in the box is at 442 views. Of course it is. I'm not watching it.
You want to give her a shot?
Here's Sugar's Way Milk. I do need to get this wrapped up, though. I got stuff I got to do, and I have to do some sort of Pathfinder thing with Nick at 4.
Are you still doing the online D&D?
Yeah, we do it on Tuesdays, but it's not like we're not streaming it or nothing.
Okay. Are you still the little mushroom guy?
No, I'm
He
somebody
died?
else. I'm a little blue guy right now. No, he's still alive.
Oh.
No, I'm a little blue mite man now.
What happened to the little mushroom guy? That was kind of a neat character.
He's fine.
He spored out.
He spored out.
No, he's fine.
Oh my gosh.
I just had to make a new character for this one because they were starting at like level 3 or something. So I didn't want to. Like I could have kept playing as him, but I didn't want to jump him up to level 3.
You got canceled for your cultural appropriation. He was wearing a sombrero. Looked too Mexican.
Fail.
All right. Yeah.
I know me gusta.
Oh wow. Yeah, we need to wrap this up. It's been like 2 minutes.
Right now we're just like, ooh, shiny things.
So
That. That is private and personal.
Lo siento.
Oh,
what?
I don't know.
Sausage pen. And
Wow.
What is that?
I don't know. I have no clue.
potatoes.
He's German. Don't ask questions. You know them and them Frankfurters.
They like their sausage in Germany. There's lots of different kinds.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh dang it, Mo. I don't know. But no, we're still doing the Pathfinder thing. We do it like anywhere from 4 to 6 hours on Tuesdays. But yeah, I'm playing a Spain.
Mo's like, are you a little mushroom guy? Chris is, that's private and personal.
That's funny.
All right. So we need to wrap this up. All right. Let's see. Laurie, your final words, if you want.
People, I love you. I had a blast on this show. If you like this kind of humor, you're going to enjoy what I put out into the world because we do death, dying, destruction, lots of sarcasm, swear words, all that fun stuff. We have our second Kickstarter coming out this fall. Do yourself a favor and hit that follow pre-launch button so that way when we go live, you're included in that email. It'll let you know because we still haven't picked a date. You can get issue number 1. We still have first prints available, but join some of our social media, especially that Facebook group if you're on Facebook, because that's where all the debauchery happens. We play games. I do behind the scenes. All the updates get dumped into there. We have an Instagram. We have a Twitter. I'm still figuring that shit out. We have a web page. It sucks. And I put a blog on there that nobody reads, but it's funny. What else? There's a TikTok. There's going to be lots of content coming out. But yeah, join us for the fun. Our story really starts to take off and don't miss out because yeah, red dress at $12,000 and I'll bring out the machetes and cut some fruit. Why
And she
not?
even promised that, she'll wear a beard.
I could put on a beard. Absolutely. All right, guys.
Take them back.
That's all I got.
All righty. Let's see. Who
So don't forget to sub, like, and share.
That's right.
Yep.
Shane, what you got to say?
It's nice to be back on the show. The number 1 co-host has returned. The show's improved immensely, I think. The chat will
Yeah,
back
you know
that.
what they say when somebody has to call themselves the king, right?
It's true.
Overcompensating much.
What else? Join the mailing list for Swarm if you want. It's my newest campaign. If not, we also have Death, which is at 20 or it's at 66K right now. So that's doing really well. So yeah, that's it.
Aaron.
I'm not pushing anything right now, but I also wanted to shout out Death, Joe Ball, Comic Art Master 1. Check it out. It's live on Indiegogo. You'll never see another comic book like that unless it's from Joe.
Good job, Aaron. Good man. Good man. Sam.
Oh, I'll start by saying, Aaron, get that freaking mailing list up for Hellzone so everybody could go sign up to it. Tales in the Adverse 2 is close, so you snooze, you lose. All of you guys that didn't back it, I know you're not getting any. And the book will be more expensive. You're not getting that minifigure. Nothing. All those prints, you snooze, you lose. The book's going to be $30 if I do a second chance campaign. It's 100-page now. You were getting it for $25, which was a pretty goddamn deal for a 100-pager.
I don't know if he's promoting or death threats are coming out at this point.
No, the campaign's closed, and I might do a second chance campaign.
Yeah,
But I'm almost done with the line work.
Could you do the second chance campaign with Aaron, since you guys are working on another book together?
What do you mean, do it with Aaron?
Aren't you doing a book with Aaron?
Yes, I am. Why would I put
Shane, mind your own business.
Why would I
I'm just saying, you can like work something out there.
The books don't come from the same place.
It don't matter. Why do they have to come from the same place?
Because I fulfill from Canada, and he fulfills from the U.S.
It's like herding cats.
They all come from the heart, Sam.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think people really care.
Okay. I'll revert to you to Aaron's comment. Mind your own goddamn business. Sorry, Aaron, you were right on the first go. Don't try to over-explain it.
Huh?
Do you see how I get treated here?
I'm sorry.
No
Yeah.
respect.
You kind of asked for it.
I was trying to help you.
All right.
All
All right,
boyos.
everybody. Thanks
I'm
for
gonna go put
joining
on my
us.
swimsuit and go take care of some ribs and enjoy the rest of my day. You guys do the same, all right?
I think that's what Chris's plans are. He's gonna put his swimsuit on and go jump in the pool.
I don't
Absolutely.
have a pool, nor do I know how to swim.
But he
nor do I
does
own
have a swimsuit, right? He has
suit.
a bathing suit.
You don't know how to swim?
No.
Well, we know who dies page 2 in your book.
Right?
At least make page 3. You
Okay,
died too.
Quick question. If he would be dead, would he learn how to swim?
No,
Okay,
you just walk along the bottom at that point.
But thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Later.
Bye.